Welcome everybody to the LCK Regional Qualifiers here for Korea. I'm Valdez, with me is Wadid today, and we have a one best of 5 to decide who is going to go into the next round of the gauntlet. Will it be Afrika? Will it be KT? We will find out today. How are you feeling today, Wadid?
I'm feeling so great, and finally, we're gonna see KT again after 2 weeks. Wow, that's crazy, no?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting because when we were going into the finals, we hadn't seen Damwon for quite a while.
Yeah.
And then they came out with, the form we expected, essentially. And now KT, we haven't seen in a very long time. Even Afrika, it has been about a week. So a couple of teams that have had a little bit of time off, especially KT, as you were mentioning. And we'll just have to wait and see how they've adjusted to some of the new metas that we've had develop over the course of the playoffs, and who is going to have the stronger mentality going into the next round, because it's not going to be easy up against T1.
Yeah, because you need to play 3 BO5s in a row if you win today. So I think it's going to be mentality fight. And at the same time, Afrika Freaks and KT, those teams are not like considered as good mentality teams, right? Like they fall really fast if they lose all their games. So I think it's their like huge homework, but at the same time, it's really great chance because they got some break, right? So it's gonna be really new and fresh to see like these teams, like how they prepare this guts like.
Yeah, absolutely. So taking a look at the championship points, because Damwon did win Summer, of course, and DRX got in on points over Gen G with the head-to-head. That does mean that these are our 4 teams that are in the gauntlet, and you'll notice that they're going to be seeded based on the amount of points that they have received. So today is KT versus Afrika. Whoever wins that goes up against T1, and then whoever wins that goes up against Gen G for the right to go to Worlds in that 3rd seed for the LCK, which, by the way, has now been adapted, with unfortunately the Vietnamese teams not able to participate in this Worlds. That does mean that the LCK 3rd seed will get directly into the group stage, which is pretty nice for the LCK.
Yeah, 3rd seed, you need to play play-ins usually, but this time around, it's kind of lucky for LCK, I would say. So it's gonna be really hot, because I don't think any kind of team really want to be out of the season, because it is actually their last chance.
Yeah, absolutely. So taking a look at some of the points of the match, opening match to kick off the regional qualifier, Afrika had the big upset over their win over T1 and made the playoff round 1 versus KT, who had 2 weeks to prepare. Afrika versus KT had a neck-and-neck series in round 2. Do you remember that? Was quite the close best of 3. Aiming's Jin stole the Baron, but Mystic closed out the game. How they perform in a best of 5. And that's kind of what you were talking about, Wadid, the mental coming into the best of 5. Will they be able to, solidify themselves and be the better team today?
It's gonna be really focused on bottom, especially I'm waiting for Aiming versus Mystic. Even though KT was not in playoffs, like a lot of analysts and casters considered Aiming as a all-pro team, even top 3. So his performance is not like, there is no doubt about his performance, right? But the problem is, what about their top side and what about their support? Because it was their main issue when they played regular split. So I think that's gonna be like huge point for KT. But at the same time, Afrika Freaks, they just got stoned by Genji. So we'll see how they repair the problem this time around.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see as we take a look at some of the stats. You will notice that actually KT Rolster had the best first dragon percentage in all of Summer. That's better than Damwon. That's better than DRX, Gen G, T1. It doesn't matter. KT was the best at that, and they do have a pretty high first Herald percentage at the same time. Whereas on the other side, Afrika do not at all.
Yeah, I mean, interestingly, they get a lot of first objectives, but at the same time, their game time is really long, which means they're really having some issues about ending the game with the snowballing, right? So I think it's really huge problem for KT, but at the same time, for Afrika Freaks, I think, yeah, again, mentality, especially on Mystic, when he was carrying, Like he was so stable, not dying at all. But when he played against Genji, they just got stomped, and at the same time, like it was so fast. Like he was dying so fast.
Yeah. It was not a pretty sight to see if you were an Afrika fan. And it's funny because it was a 3-0, but it felt long because we had 4 pauses, I think.
Yeah.
Me and Atlas were casting that day. And we thought that day was bad, and then the next day was like insane. But either way, these are going to be your lineups that do come into here, and I think the obvious key player matchup will be Mystic versus Aiming. These 280 carries have had some really nice performances over 2020 summer. They just haven't really had the team to back it up, and as you were mentioning, Mystic, it was a little bit hit or missed. Or miss, rather, not missed. Mystic. But Aiming, for sure, definitely had some really nice numbers here in summer.
Yeah, but also for Mystic, he had carry potential. Like, there's no doubt about it. So I think it's going to be really hype matchup, but at the same time, it really depends on support. Ban versus Tushin. And those 2 players are like considered as not consistent, inconsistent players. So I think, it's gonna be really fun to see how they perform today as well.
Yeah, will be interesting to see. One of our key points also was that Smeb versus Keen is up on the top side, which, I mean, Keen is playing really well. I think that he was pretty inconsistent in the beginning of summer, but has really come into his own a little bit towards the end. Had some pretty sick Akali performances. I think Akali could definitely be one of our very contested picks in this series. And just it will be interesting to see how he does against Smeb, who has been having also a really fantastic build-up into playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, Ellis put Keen on the first All-Pro team, so I mean, there should be a reason, right? So we're gonna see what's gonna happen today. And also Smap, like there is some interesting news that Smap was actually playing a lot of support role in solo queue. So like some people actually expected Smap to play support this regional qualifier, but today he's playing top lane. Maybe it can be changed like during the series, but we'll see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad idea, especially if they go down like 0-2.
Yeah, probably.
Right? It's like, well, might as well give it a shot, right? We have to do a reverse sweep. We have to then go up against T1 and Gen G if we are trying to get into Worlds in this manner. And who knows? I mean, just switch it up entirely. Really try to get into the heads of your opponents. And I mean, it looked decent when we were looking at it. I think Sohan was playing pretty well when that swap did happen, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I think this first game is going to be very telling about the way that the series is going to go. I know you had some thoughts about this. We were talking about it before the cast.
Oh, yeah. I think it's going to be just 3-0 for like each teams. For example, if KT wins first game, KT is going to win it 3-0. Or like Africa wins first game, Africa is going to be just get this game as 3-0. Because, as I mentioned, their mentality is weak as a team. As we know, so I think first game matters a lot. So it is really important. But at the same time, Africa Freaks choose blue side, right? And they preferred red side before at the playoffs, and probably they changed some strategy this time around.
Yeah, I would imagine so, right? Even Afrika had an entire week to watch DRX versus Gen G, and then, of course, Damwon versus DRX to learn a little bit from that, and just practice a lot by themselves, scrim up against a lot of the other teams and stuff like that. So I would assume that there will be many kinds of strategic maneuvers, let's say, in this entire series.
And especially, I'm wondering if they're gonna think about just AD carry bans on the bot side, because there is obvious OP pick on the bot right now. For example, Caitlyn had 100% ban rate and pick rate as well. So yeah, it's banned.
Yeah, and we talked about how both of these teams have really strong AD carry players, so it's no surprise that we already see 3 of them banned out here. You were mentioning how they're pretty OP at this moment in time. The Azir and the TF are also going to be banned away from UCal. So they say, well, UCal, he plays a couple of champions. Let's ban them away. See what else he's got in store for us.
And also, most of the AD carries are banned. So we can maybe imagine something like a Jhin or those kind of early prior champions. Or maybe we can see something like Aphelios Kaisa, which is late game carry. And yeah, this is actually really aggressive because you normally pick up Renekton for your Nidalee, but this time around, it seems like they just picked up Lucian for top and mid.
Yeah, which is really interesting because you mentioned top and mid. I think also it could be flexed to bot, but most likely it'll go top mid. And that's not a champion that's a great gank assist, right?
No.
Nidalee loves people who can get really consistent stuns down or roots down so that she can land her spear and then go for her combo. But Lucian and Nidalee, they bring a lot of damage, but they don't really work too well together in terms of that gank assist. So Afrika, they're going to bring out Orianna here for Fly.
Such a great champ for mid priority, but a little bit hard to pull off that ability. But it seems like Fly is having some confidence in himself because, yes, his performance is great in playoffs, right? So that's a great choice. And comfort pick for Ben right here.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting because I think the elephant in the room is Renekton.
Yeah, I agree.
When is Renekton going to be picked? Are they just both not going to pick it? Because we talked about all the AD carry bans, but Aiming is going to get his Ezreal here right at the last moment, and KT have a couple more bans to target down Mystic if they would like. We'll see what they do.
Right now, KT's team comp is full of range champions, like poke potential with Nidalee and Ezreal, and 2 AD carries as well with Lucian and Ezreal. But the problem is it's unstable. And there is no CC, and if you want to engage in an important position, then you can't. So I think Afrika Fricks is more kind of set it up for stable team comp. But at the same time, I was expecting Lilia and Nidalee trade, but like also Renekton and Shen. But interestingly, there is no like Renekton ban or pick, Shen pick or ban as well. So yeah.
Well, they banned 580 carries away, and Senna was also banned by Afrika. So you've got a couple of choices here. You can go for Jhin. You could try to go hyper carry like a Kog'Maw or a Jinx, but I'm not sure how that's going to go up against this team with the Nautilus in the lane. It's not the most easy position here for Afrika.
But I think at the same time, maybe it can be really great for Afrika because KT has no front lane. So if you can hit them, then they're gonna die instantly, right? So I think, as you mentioned, Jinx can be really great as well. And we'll see if Tushin is just gonna play Bard. Oh, it's Alista.
Huh. I was thinking Bard because a lot of the AD carries that are left available, they are very immobile.
Yeah.
You think about Sivir, that would have been the one that, could have had a fun time against Bard, but other than that, I mean, Kog'Maw, Jinx, all of these guys. Jinx gets very fast eventually, but Jhin even. Bard loves Jhin. He's thinking about the Kog'Maw here, though, and it looks like maybe Kaisa is going to be the answer. Definitely works very well with what Orianna and Nautilus bring to the table.
And also Lilia. I think those champions are really synergizing well each other's, but it seems like they need strong AD damage on the top side from King right here. Renekton is out.
Camille is available if they wanted to try to bolster their engage.
Yeah.
But they're considering something to blind pick, and it will be the Wukong in this scenario.
It's a good matchup for Wukong if it's Lucian topside. There is always all-in potential for him, so... But if they flex it, then you're not gonna have great matchup. Nice. But at the same time, it's gonna be really good matchup for Fly on the mid lane, so it's kind of trade.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose so. Very interesting to see that Smeb is willing and able to just pull out the Malphite here.
Yeah.
He's like, well, you know, we talked about the immobility. Malphite does love that. Orianna doesn't have much. Kai'Sa does have a bit, but also, especially up against Kai'Sa and Wukong, the Malphite is going to have a very fun time. So it also adds that really hard engage, which is something you were mentioning that they do not have outside of the Alistar that they picked up a bit later as their 4th pick.
Oh yeah, and also I think KT, they prepared to focus on the bot lane and they did 580 carry bans, right? But at the same time, because of the draft, because they picked Azrael first with Alistar, they're not gonna have bot Priya against Kai'Sa Nautilus, right? So I'm wondering how they're gonna build up this team comp, especially around Lucian Italy. They're really great and aggressive in the early game, but at the same time, it's unstable, right? There is no CC, there is no front lane. So we'll see how they control and how they prepare this team comp, especially.
Yeah, we talked about the strategies coming into this series, and already we see something that seems to be prepared.
Yeah.
Right? It's something that's met most of practice coming into today. It's not the most ideal composition in the world to go up against, but I do think that it does bring some good value into the composition of specifically what KT has. So either way, guys, we're going to jump into game number 1. Again, this is a best of 5, so whoever reaches 3 wins first will move on to the next stage up against T1, where they will fight off in another best of 5.
Yeah, it's tomorrow. So the momentum is everything. So, I mean, I also experienced the regional qualifier when I was a G2, right? So, I mean, it's really about momentum. And at that timing, I got just shut out at the playoffs, and we got like 2 weeks of break. And we didn't play League that much at the timing because of the mental. So, it's all about mentality and like how you approach to the ban picks, because I mean, in this kind of important match, I think the champion mastery, like your champion mastery, is more important than like meta champion, those kind of thing, right? So,
this is really awkward, actually. With the passive coming in, Yucal is going to have to flash away at a minute 25 into the game, and also taking a huge chunk of his health. So, really awkward start here for Yucal, just trying to get the good trade onto Fly, but Ben was right there to shut him down.
Yeah, great start for Africa Freaks already, because as mid Lucian, I think it's really important to have early game Freya, but I mean, if you lost your Flash, even though it's Lilia Orianna, you're gonna have some rough early game.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be pretty awkward here. Fly has missed a couple of cues with his ball, which, you know, definitely could have been landed, especially before Yucal picked up his dash. But either way, looks like should be just fine here. You see that Fly did go for biscuits in the mid lane, so he'll have a nice amount of sustain.
Yeah.
So far in the bottom lane, looks like Aiming and Tucson are doing a decent job of pushing forward.
Yeah, because they didn't leash and Africa Freaks did. It's kind of like how League works. And Kai'Sa is gonna just get slowly get back the pressure. And Nidalee is gonna be bot side. So I'm wondering if they are thinking about like invading enemy red side jungle with this Lucian Nidalee. And I think they should do that as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. We'll see if they actually do go for it. We were taking a short look at the top side, just to note that Smed looks just fine.
Yeah,
he's you know, he's just chilling out, and that is one of the reasons why they did go for that Malphite. I think that trying to neutralize Keen is always a good idea whenever you're playing against Afrika. So this might be one way that they decided to go for it.
Yeah, and KT, they already decided to just go towards bottom side. So Smap's job is just chilling on the top side and just not dying under the turret.
Ben has played 19 games of Nautilus this year. Or this summer.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, yeah.
You were talking about comfort. This is about as comfortable as it gets for both teams.
Yeah.
And, well, here comes Bono. Just gonna... Okay. nice little spear. And Fly doesn't have any kind of defensive summoners either. He went for teleport here, even up against the Lucian. So you can see he's trying to survive after that one. I thought maybe Bono and UCal could have set something up, but they decide to just take the safe approach.
Yeah. Nothing is like happening especially. Because I mean, that's what Lilia wants and Nidalee wants, just farming faster than enemy jungler. But I mean, as you can see, like bot lane is already like comfort zone for Africa Freaks because they have better combination in the early game, and it's gonna help Africa Freaks. But the mid lane is really going spicy with their trade.
Yeah, you could see UCal is pretty low, but he's got biscuits of his own, so he's able to get some of that mana back to start some of those trades and threaten lethal once again. You can see that Fly though, he was just desperately trying to push that last wave and then go for a back. Just like UCal is just going to let it reset and go for a back himself, as he does not have TP. Doesn't want to get TP'd after pushing when he's got no health and mana, and then be in an awkward spot because he can't mirror with his own TP. So picks up the Cull and a Null Magic Mantle, and he's going back to mid.
Oh yeah, I mean, Africa Freaks' gang potential on mid lane is all about damage, right? And they have like AP based, most likely. So I think it's really great choice. And at the same time, even though he lost Flash at level 1, he did a great job on laning phase. So I think everything seems normal right now, but I think the balance is really on Africa Freaks' side. So KT is the one who really wants to break up this balance from Africa Freaks.
Yeah, I mean, so far they're not really able to do much in terms of that effect. The first dragon is a Infernal Drake, so we'll see if either team wants to make a move towards that. Now would have been a good time actually for Bono to go straight there, but looks like he's going for the Scuttle Crab. A little bit of an easier objective. Tucson here, winning in the mid lane, and look at UCal trying to bait this out, wants to push him out of the lane with the culling, and we'll be able to get Fly quite low in this lane.
By the way, just so you know, this Alistar has Phase Rush for main rune setting, and he has no Kalista. So if he fails once, then he's just gonna die like many times. So I think it's really important for Tushin to control himself to not die a lot of times this game.
Yeah, especially before level 6. I think after level 6, he does have some options. And Tucson, a very experienced Alistar player himself, so going for a little bit of a more risky setup. I don't mind it here, but that is definitely a good point. We'll see if Tucson can make the big plays as this game has come along. But so far, it's just been 7 minutes of farming, as nobody really has been making any moves on either side of the rift.
Yeah. Slight CS lead from Africa's bot lane, but that's how it works in the Kai'Sa and Ezreal matchup. If Ezreal has some defensive support, yeah, I mean, I would just rather just pick Aftershock when I'm playing with Nautilus, because like you're gonna get hooked, but if you have Aftershock, it doesn't matter at all, and you don't even need to proc your ultimate, right? But yeah, I mean, I can see some like rapid engage with Malphite. Then it can be really great. So we'll see how it works. But Africa Freaks, they're more proactive with their advantage from both sides. So they got the first Drake cleanly, and it's really good start from them.
Yeah, absolutely. It was uncontested, right?
Yep.
I mean, Bono was nowhere near, and of course KT was pushed in, as you mentioned, so it's kind of just sitting back. See that Ben is kind of pretending like he's not here, maybe looking for the follow-up, but nope, just going to run back into lane. And we will continue our farming simulator. And yeah, not much else going on.
Yeah.
Just everybody sitting back. Keen has been, for now, effectively neutralized. This top lane has also been quite boring. Not much else happening up there, which is always going to be pretty good for Smack.
Yeah, and as you see, Fly already knew that this game is going to be a really long game, so he got tier first. What a smart choice.
Wow. Yeah, it's a great choice. I think that given the somewhat squishy nature of their team as well, that extra AP with Seraphs and the shields will be pretty nice as well. Okay.
Fancy.
Yeah. He looked cool. He was just saying, you know, Spirit, get out of here. This is our Rift Herald.
Yeah. I mean...
And KT, once again, gonna up that Rift Herald percentage.
Yeah. Such a great play by aiming. Just breaking up their tempo with Ezreal ultimate helped KT to get free Herald on the top side. Small detail, but that's why we consider aiming as a like top 3 AD carry in LCK. Smart player, but at the same time, really great mechanically.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. I think he's, well, here we go. Yukal trying to put that culling out, but Ben is right there at the right time. Otherwise, he may have been able to force that flash out of fly.
2v2.
Here comes Spirit. Yeah, it is going to be a 2-on-2. I think this is going to benefit KT. Let's see, the knockup comes in. The spear is not going to hit anything. And that is a huge amount of damage out. Can they still win the fight here? Smev is pretty low. The first blood will go over to the side of the Wukong. As Bono, he's going to be scratching his head after that one. But either way, even so, is still going to be able to come ahead of Spirit in the after trade. As another engage here, but again, not much happening there.
Oh yeah. I mean, on the top side, I felt like KT could just win it hard, but because of the decoy usage from Keen, he didn't get hit by Malphite ultimate on the top side. So I think that was pretty lucky for Africa Freaks that they didn't get too old on the top side.
Yeah. And it looks pretty silly that the spear did miss, of course, but as you're mentioning, there's decoys involved. I suppose he really wanted to get onto the Wukong.
Oh, yeah.
But I think if you just throw that spear straight into Lilia, you could probably just one-shot her and then move on. But either way, kind of threw it down the middle there, so gets the field goal. And not a bad trade after all. KT slightly ahead in this one, mainly because of the massive lead in the jungle farming that is coming from Bono over Spirit here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, another missing.
And now he's in a little bit of trouble. Thankfully, he's Alistair. Otherwise, I think he probably just would have died. Not the best look from Tucson here. You know, maybe I caster cursed him and said, you know, he's very experienced. He's very good on the champion. But
I mean, yeah.
He misses 2 combos in a row. That's, you know, he's got to do better than that. He's one of our veterans here on the side of KT.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that critical, but at the same time showing, 2 missed combo for audiences is not, like, great impact for himself.
Exactly. Yeah, it's, you know, it's not like those, you know, those combos would have changed the game or anything, but it definitely leaves us like, well...
Yeah, his performance is not great again. Then, like... That's not the result that he really want to have right now, right?
Mm-hmm. For sure. And you can see Bono is up here on the top side. Looks like Keen was able to catch wind of that. Probably a ward was somewhere out there that got seen. And with the Rift Herald that was picked up way earlier, they're just going to be able to get this first blood turret up on the top side pretty easily. You see that Spirit is finally up in the top. And in fact, the turret's not going to fully go down, but it is quite close, as they did get 4 of the plates so far.
The jungle difference is actually pretty huge, even though there is no like kill impact. But Bono is snowballing pretty well with this Nidalee, getting topside plates, and also just running around all the maps to release the pressure from the matchup, especially on the bot side. It's helping a lot for their team, and I think if they can get this second break, then the snowballing is real from KT side.
Well, we'll see if they can. I mean, it looks like Bono's just going to get to work on that. We got a couple of members of Africa around, but you can see their back pinging around this little, you know, elbow brush to the left of the Dragon Pit. So they're like, I don't know, like, we have no vision. We have no idea if they're doing it or where they are. They could be invading. And that just means that they have to give up map control and give over the Drake. So now we got Mountain Soul in this game, which means that one of these sides could potentially pick up 3 Mountain Drakes. which could be pretty massive, especially for that Malphite.
Waiting for worldwide frozen gauntlet, right?
Yeah, it's certainly going to be a lot of defensive options for these players. Keen waiting now, seeing if he can get Lilia in here. A lot of armor built up already by Smeb, so he really needs the HP chunking and AP damage out of either his jungler or his mid laner. You can see that Smeb is being smart. He's not overstaying his welcome. Just going to back away and deny us some more action.
I mean, just so you know, Africa Freaks is not in hurry because of their team comp, right? I mean, if you have Orianna with Tier and Lilia in the jungle and Kaisa, Nautilus, Wukong in the team fight, then I mean, I'll be fine with just giving up some Drakes and just waiting for the late game. Especially when enemy team has such a squishy and risky team comp when you compare their team comps, right? So I think they're just taking it slowly.
Yeah, might as well. Just sitting back here. They're about 3,500 gold behind, and they did go over that Ocean Drake. I wonder how many Mountain Drakes they're going to consider giving away, because as you mentioned, certainly a lot of defensive items can be picked up from the side of KT with this momentum that they have, and stacking, of course, with the Mountain Drakes. So just waiting on that one.
Pretty interesting that the Tushin picked up mobility boots, because I mean with the phase rush it's pretty synergizing well with the swiftness, right? So
yeah.
Very interesting, but at the same time reasonable, because you want to pick up some more sneaky moments with Alistar. So we can expect some flank from Tushin, some experienced engage that you mentioned before.
Yeah, I mean, that's one way to make sure that you get those engages off alongside of the Malphite, just to get in there at the exact right time. And yeah, Smeb just going to take away Shirley here. Gets that second Rift Herald just for him. And yeah, you mentioned that Afrika can sit back. KT, they're kind of just waiting for, you know, a couple of items to come out here. I think that's the Ezreal Lucian can be quite strong at 2-3 items here. So maybe just wait for that, a couple of Mountain Drakes for your Malphite and your team specifically, because of, you know, double Merc Treads are being built. The Frozen Gauntlet probably going to come out here from the side of aiming. So certainly they could be really, really strong at around 25 minutes or so with a couple of Mountain Drakes under their belt. So we'll see if anyone decides they want to have some action here. Yukal misses with his W on the cannon as I lose a couple more hairs. And yeah, we're just sitting back.
Oh yeah,
we're just sitting back, relaxing, you know, just watching.
Yeah, I mean, for KT, their late game is also great. I mean, you have unkillable Malphite on the top side, and at the same time you have aiming Ezreal with Spear with Yuumi in the jungle. So I mean, their late game is also fine, but my worry is that if they fail to kite around, then they're gonna get one shot by Orianna and Wukong in the team fight, right? And Kaisa jumping into the back line. So I think Africa Freaks.
Okay, really nice flash out of Fly. That was perfect timing. He's gonna get the follow-up ultimate onto Smeb, but there it is, the mobility of the Kaisa.
Yeah.
And the ability to get in there makes it so that Afrika pick up a kill, and it's going to go into the pockets of Mystic, which is exactly where you would like some of that gold. And the timing is quite nice too. It's not going to totally deny aiming from the dragon fight, but certainly is going to make him a little bit late for it.
I mean, this is what I was talking about. Team comp difference. Yes, they have some damage, but where is CC? Where is your chain CC? Or like Africa Freaks in skirmishes, they're better. Just basically.
Well, you can see what happens here in this fight. It's kind of broken, and aiming is just really out of position. He's all by himself down the river. He's like, I guess we gotta join up for the 5v5, but runs straight into 2 or 3 Afrika members and just gets caught out there. You know, if Malphite and the Alistar are going in together onto a couple of flashless targets, it would be nice, but if you're just letting your AD carry go for free, that's not so nice. And even after all that, even after the Ezreal goes down, it's still going to be the Mountain Drake going the way of KT.
Oh yeah, great objective control still, but yeah, I mean I think KT they do not need to just engage like right away and look for straight up 5v5 because of the team comp. They can just kite it out, wait for poke from aiming and Bono, and then maybe you can look for some flanks or engage. But yeah, they just need to synchronize and try to understand what they have right now. The tools, I think they can kite it out pretty well.
Aiming, not thrown off kilter by getting killed there. It's just going to take the turret by himself, essentially. They had the pressure from Bono to help out there.
Oh yeah.
And no vision in the jungle for the side of Frika, so just a nice little take of the bottom turret there goes to the side of KT. You can see that they have their eyes set now onto the mid lane turret, if possible. It's pretty low, so we'll see if they can get a push going down there.
And it's gonna be just fully tank item build from Spirit with Lilia. It's gonna be Deathman's Plate for the second item, right?
Yeah. Looks like that is going to be the choice, and I don't mind it, especially if you're picking up Mountain Drakes, and with some of the crazy damage that the side of KT do have, and some of that engage, you're just not going to be able to dodge unless you do have flash. So he's like, well, if I'm just a little piece of paper, I'm just going to get burst down and do nothing. So might as well build some tankiness in this game. And of course, the Deadman's Plate not so bad on Lilia, but we'll see where he goes after the Deadman's Plate. You know, if he continues into just tankiness, or if he goes for something a little bit more hybrid or AP wise. Maybe it will just be the one-off of the armor item.
I think you must have Leandris on Lilia. I mean, that's just the way how you play Lilia, right? And I mean, and also aiming is fully building up for a tankiness. It seems like he's going for Death Dance for third item with this Mountain Drake. And yeah, I mean, it reminds me one of the game when Ezra had such a high number on armor, and it is gonna be the game.
Yeah, I mean, this is the perfect setup for it, right? Yep. They even gave up that first Drake on purpose, maybe to get 3 Mountain Drakes and scale that up a little bit more. And yeah, I mean, Afrika are still waiting. You see that they're just still sitting back. Maybe they want to wait for 3 items, Kaisa, and at least Leandris on Lilia, but you're giving a lot of value over the side of KT by just, you know, handing Mountain Drakes over and not fighting for it. But you know, we've seen teams that do try to force fights, and then we criticize them as well. So it's kind of interesting to see the other side of it, where the team just kind of takes the super passive approach. But we'll see if it pays off for them.
Oh yeah. And I mean, I don't know when Afrika Freaks is gonna decide to take the fight, because it seems like they're just giving up like everything, every single objectives that they have, like mid turret and also bot turret and top turret, and they lost the Drake as well. So I want to see more of synchronized team fight or objective control, like vision control as well, because I mean they synergize really well if they group as 5, but they were just farming, and I don't know like what timing they're waiting for.
Yeah. That's exactly it, right? Like, what is the timing? Are we waiting for 2 Mountain Drakes to the side of KT? Is it going to be Mountain Soul and 3 item Death's Dance crazy armor aiming? Or are we thinking that we're going to fight over this next Mountain Drake? Because I don't think you could just keep giving objectives over and expect to win this game, scaling aside, especially because of the way Drakes went and the way that KT's comp can itemize. So you see that Afrika are grouping up for it now. Doesn't look like they want to give it away for free this time around. But Smed in a nice spot here is going to find Keen and deny that flank from the side of Afrika. So immediately now Wukong is in an awkward spot.
I mean, remember, if KT just instantly engages and look for the fight they're gonna lose. They need to cut it out. They need to poke them down with their team comp and take it slow. And otherwise, Africa Freaks is just gonna win 5v5 straight up. So, okay.
Yeah, the ultimate forced out here from Tucson. Really nice follow-up engage. Comes in and flies, disappears. The follow-up engage, though, from Keen might be enough. In comes Mystic. Great knockup comes in, and they have the damage in the back line, but it does look like Mystic is in a little bit of trouble. It's going to get clapped there, but Ben and Spirit still left available. It does look like, though, well, Spirit's quite fast, so he might be able to get away. Tries to throw the bowling ball over Malphite's head. But at the end of the day, it is just Lilia and Nautilus, and with Bono still available, does look like KT will pick up another Mountain Drake in this game.
Great one-shot combination from Smap and Tushin on Fly. That was really impactful. And Fly couldn't do anything. Like, he didn't use ultimate, he couldn't use flash, and I mean that made huge difference. Yeah.
Seraphs.
I mean that made like huge difference because like Africa Freaks, they had the chance to win the team fight, right?
Yeah, I mean they absolutely did. You see the latter half of this one. I mean, King did so much work up on the top side, and Mystic did a great job of assassinating, aiming at the same time. So there were little moments where it was like, oh, maybe Africa can actually turn this one around, but absolutely the engage helping out KT so much, and with every single Mountain Drake that gets taken down, I feel like the chances for Africa to win this game grow slimmer.
Oh yeah. Stack some more armor and MR items, and it seems like it's pretty unkillable at this point when aiming gets that stance for third item. And yeah, I mean KT, they understand what they can do in a team fight positioning. So I mean I just want to shout out to Smap right now. I mean, he spotted out Wukong so many times, and at the same time he got the right engage at the right timing. So great Malphite plays, and yeah, they just need to keep it up. Otherwise, I think Africa Freaks is gonna win the team fight with their team comp. That's why they built up this team comp in the ban picks, and they waited so many times with giving up some objectives. So I mean, there is still potential for Africa Freaks, right?
I suppose so. Still ways to get that kind of wombo combo fight off.
Oh yeah.
But the way these fights have been going have not really told that same tale. And aiming so close to his death stance now is going to be a huge menace in these fights coming along. Does look like UCal went for the crit Lucian build, and we'll just be looking to two-tap some of those squishy targets on the side of Africa, who, again, they don't have any Mountain Drakes.
Yeah.
They don't have too much tankiness outside of, surprisingly, Lilia, who is going for not Leandri's third, as you were talking about, would be necessary. He is, I want to take another look at exactly what he is going for, but it is another tank item. He has built the beginnings of potentially like a Spirit Visage or something like that, so just full tank essentially after the Runic Echoes here from Spirit on the jungle Lilia.
Yeah, I mean, interesting choice because, I mean, KT has some tank line, and if you have Leandris with Lilia, you can actually melt them with the damage, but yeah. I guess they're just looking for late game at this point. But, and yeah, I mean, the structure that they had was fine in the team fight, but I think Keen and Mystic, they should look for same target in same positioning, because last team fight, again, they were splitted. Mystic was looking for aiming when Keen was just killing 3 targets at the same time, right? I think if Mystic jumped in, or where Keen jumped in, it could be better. So I think they just need to synchronize what target they want to look for in the team fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see that just pushing on in, it looks like Africa was able to find a little chance to just maneuver on in. See, nice amount of damage anyway, even without the Leandris, but just imagine how much better it would be, especially against the tanks, as you were mentioning. You could just even throw bowling balls and feel happy about it.
Yeah.
You know, chunk down Smith, chunk down Lucian, or not Lucian, Tucson. And you know, you could just start the fight off with a nice amount of poke. Their composition doesn't have too much of it. I suppose Kaisa W and maybe the Oriana's got a little bit, but I think definitely a bit better poke on the side of KT. But either way, we got the next Mountain Drake coming up, and this is for the Mountain Soul. Smeb is just literally a rock at this point in time. The spear is going to go wide again. That's quite unfortunate from Bono.
I mean,
he wasn't able to line that up again.
Yeah, it was full tank Lilia, and Smab just ulted him on a single target who really want to just tank for the team. And I mean, it worked out for Spirit, yeah? And there is no Malphite ultimate just right now.
Yeah, that is true. And you can see that Afrika, they're pretty... They would love to start a fight right now.
Oh, yeah.
They want to put on the pressure right now, especially because that ultimate does go down. You see that Keen was able to go top side and start pushing that one, but both top laners have their TP, so it's not going to matter too much. And you can see that Smeb's cooldown is over halfway complete. So
pretty quick.
Yeah, it's pretty quick, but it's not going to be on time for this fight. So they're going to have to maneuver around that. The True Shot Barrage not going to hit anything at this point in time.
Soul point for KT.
Yeah, they're looking for it here. Smeb is in the mid lane. The spear's going to land, and they're just going to give it over to the side of Afrika, surprisingly. The follow-up engage comes in from Zeus, and there's the phase rush. Nice amount of damage coming out. The loading Lullaby onto the Ezreal, and there is this Afrika engage. They get 3 in the back line, which is just gigantic, as Aiming and Tucson are so low. And they're going to be hounded down till the end of time. The Sombrero, they're not going to be too much, and Aiming is just so tanky at this point, so he's somehow able to get away. But at the end of the day, still a nice team fight here for the side of Afrika. They get the Mountain Drake and 3 kills to boot.
Yeah, it's really easy to take the team fight with Afrika Frix because they have so many CCs, and that was really great engaged by Spirit. And I mean, I was expecting Nautilus ulti on Ezreal, but they put so much on Zhonya's target, which is Lucian. So it was not that clean, but at the same time, pretty well synergized when they have to fight. And yeah, I mean here they could look for Ezreal, but interestingly, they only focused on Lucian.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit of, you know, just trying to go as fast as possible, just going for the front target. But as you mentioned, you got to know that he's got a stopwatch in this scenario.
Oh yeah.
Seems like he did not. But either way, it is broken now, so maybe for the next fight. And Afrika were somehow able to pick up that Mountain Drake, especially after the Malphite ultimate was gone. The Malphite is quite literally just a stone wall at this point in time. He's got only tanky items and basically will not die.
Oh yeah.
So if you get him to get those engages off and somehow you know, protect your team against engaging from the side of Afrika, which, by the way, we saw their engage is quite strong, especially with the Wukong. Keen is just doing so much work for his team right now. It's pretty insane.
But you need to remind that Kaisa is such a great tank killer, and Smeb is looking for the engage from the bottom side.
Okay, well, they're going to get the flash out of Mystic. That's not half bad. Oh, that is massive! The bowling ball comes in and is going to put 3 of them to sleep, but where's the follow-up? Finally, Keen is going to come in from the right side, and I say finally, but at least it's on time. Aiming is so damn tanky. Somehow, it's not going to go down until just now, but this is going to be the clean ace. KT way overextending in the mid lane. And will be giving these objectives over to the side of Afrika. They're considering going for Baron, but you see pings down in the mid lane. Looks like maybe they want to split their attention with all 5 members up.
Oh yeah, their team fight is just way too better when it comes to straight up 5v5. Great reaction by Mystic at the same time. And also Spirit. I think his Lilia is the best engage ever I saw with, I mean, in LCK. Like, those 2 engages in the team fight, that made huge difference.
Yeah, and Keen's positioning, of course, with the teleport coming in. It was good they had a ward right there because it was quite literally the perfect angle.
Oh, yeah.
And you can see Smeb, he doesn't die, but he doesn't kill either. So he's just sitting there like a brick wall, not doing much. And, you know, I don't know. They were reaching pretty far down the lane. and they got really strung out. You saw that the Orianna ultimate this time around from Fly was finally good, and it was good when he needed to be. So definitely some good stuff from him there. And now, I mean, you're looking at Afrika heavily in the lead. We got Mountain Drake in a minute, but I'm not sure if they're necessarily going to need that, as they are pretty much 5,000 gold ahead after that fight.
Yeah, I mean, again, they shouldn't look for just flashy engages from KT side. They should look for pokes. They should kite it out. I mean, that's how their team comp works. But it seems like they're in hurry. But they don't need to be hurry, because they can just push them out with their abilities. And they could get the better vision control, but right now they're behind, so they need to pull the trigger at this time.
Yeah, you can see there, well, this is a little bit awkward. Ben trying to cut them off in the mid lane. Not gonna do too well. And this time Keen doesn't have that flank teleport positioning either. So just trying to spread it out, make a line. That dredge line, though, is going to sail wide. Keen also waiting in the wings. Finally, a nice spear coming down onto Ben. And we'll see if KT can finally, you know, get this Malphite Alistar engage off, but
slowly.
Smeb here.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty tanky. They're trying to turn now onto Keen. Perfect knockup onto 3. We'll see what else he can get. They're trying to burst him down, and do they have the damage? Yes, they do, but Lucian immediately going to go down. Take a look at Mystic just ripping through 2 people. He's going to get the 1, as finally the shockwave will come out, and Mystic comes in with a perfectly timed stopwatch as well. Make sure that he can survive, and Afrika will easily win this fight. Mystic gets 6,480 damage in that last team fight. It looks like they want to push and potentially end.
Yeah, I mean, Kaisa can kill Malphite easily, and yeah, that was great positioning by Keen, and just understanding how they can win the team fight. I mean, it seemed like way too easy for African Greeks at this point, because of the item difference, because of the knowledge about the team comp. So they're gonna take the game 1 right now.
Yeah, looks like they're gonna close it out here. 36 minutes in. Afrika will be able to shut it down. So GG, congratulations to them. They take the first win, but of course it is still a best of 5, so we'll see what they can do. Wadid, you've got to vote for the player of the game.
Oh, true.
Curious to see what you're going to go vote for, I would imagine. Mystic could be up there. Keen had some pretty sick engages, but I'm curious to hear your opinion.
I'm gonna go with Spirit, though, because of the engages.
Really?
When they were behind, I think that's the most important timing that they need to come back. Like, the first team fight that they had at the Drake Pit, I mean, they were behind at the timing, by the way, because they gave up so many objectives before, and the positioning, the vision control, right? But because of Spirit's engage, and at the same time, like right after that, he had such a great 3-man like ultimate again in the mid lane. So I think he made the huge difference, and because of that, Keen could lend us such a great engage with Mystic. So I think Spirit deserves player of the game this series. I mean, every player played well, but it was a little bit slow.
I would imagine that you know, Keen and Mystic are probably going to get some votes, but I would agree that you know, it's like the critical time in the game, right? Who is performing to allow your team to actually come back and have a chance? That is definitely very important. So you could see aiming, he was tank Ezreal and was doing a nice amount of damage himself, but unfortunately not able to do much. And Spirit's also going to take this victory with the full tank Lilia, which I saw he had a blasting wand built going for his next item. I don't know if he completed that. I didn't see it myself, but looks like he was going, you know, after a couple of tanky items at least, into some more AP and some more damage. So definitely some interesting stuff as we're going to take a look at the highlights from Game 1.
It could be clean 2-0 top side 2v2, but KT misplayed hugely on the top side. So I think that was really critical. And also this one, they were looking for different target at the same time, mid lane and bot lane. So they lost the lead from the laning phase, but Smash, like with flashy engage with Lucian, that was great though.
Yeah, you gotta like it. You know, some of their mechanics were certainly on point. I think some of KT's team play does need some work, as Afrika did prove that they were the better team coming back from behind. Here in game number 1, I think that's always a great look. If you're the fan of that team. Great engage here from Spirit. He gets the most important target. Ezreal is slept up until he gets knocked up by Keen, and he really doesn't do much at all in this fight. So as you were mentioning, Spirit getting that big engage around the dragon when they needed it most.
Oh yeah. I think because of this team fight, they could just win it automatically. Yeah, this team fight was just right after, right? Great reaction from Mystic and also Fly, and this was just top, like cherry on the top, right?
Yeah. This was pretty massive, and Keen was easily able to follow up because of what Spirit was able to set up, predicting the flashback to join the other 3, catches all 3 of them in the lilting lullaby. And poor Smeb up against Orianna and Lilia on the Malphite. Oh, yeah. That's definitely not a good look. So I wonder if they're going to be playing this Malphite maybe into a different composition. We could see it, but certainly didn't get as much value as we, maybe would have expected. As Mystic had a fun time in this one towards the end. Also had a very great game.
Oh yeah. Every team fight that they had was just so simple, and I mean, because of their structure, right? I mean, they built up for this, and I mean, especially their performance in general was fine during the laning phase, KT. But yeah, I'm wondering if this Alista pick was prepared from Tushin, because I mean, he did nothing in this game, right?
Tucson, yeah. That was not the Cal performance we were expecting from him. Yeah. I hope I didn't cast a curse him, and maybe we'll see Smeb down in the support role for game 2. But surely they're going to have to mix something up, because I think from this game 1, straight from the get-go, we can kind of easily see that Afrika do have the better play today. And I think going for some kind of a big mix-up on the side of KT might be nice, especially if you can allow aiming to get some carry potential going. So guys, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll go to game number 2.
Disappear, I'm your eraser. Ain't the cut just like a razor. Murked up in this world, my blazer. I got all the boys on me, I got all the lines on ring. Knocking dead, turning heads. I got all the eyes on me. Pretty face, called out to the rock. 유행 선두자, 원하지만 못하잖아. 애가 타잖아. You make roll, 달리 you도 go. 난 알지, I know. 준비해, cause I like the ball. 멈추지 않아. 나는 내 그게 like a bag. 그거 말고 bye. 믿어봐, 그만큼 크게. 고 high 100% 덤비지 못해 죽여주잖아 나는 boss 간지 with the sauce 원하면 줄게 I'm doing damage when just how I planned it I do what I want when I say 모두 날 따라해 난 끝내주잖아 To live on the edge of insane Coming at you like real, real world Here to light it up, set the world on fire Gonna break rules and hearts and tools what the baddies do. I never going back, nah, that. Diamonds on drip, cause I came to make a splash. Gonna break rules and hearts and tools, cause that's what the baddies do. It's crazy. Sorry for the bad news, sorry I'm so bad. Only took a minute for me to get what you had. Sorry for the bad news, no it makes you sad. There for a minute, baby, you should pack your bags. Way that I look should be breaking the law. If I don't got it, I take what I want. My circle small like a round of applause. You know that I love the sound of applause. You know I mean everything that I say. Would you see me coming, get out of the way? Back in the sleigh, back and I'm better and ready to stay. I'm doing damage when just how I planned it. I do what I want when I say. 모든 날 따라해 난 끝내주잖아. To live on the edge of insane. It's crazy. Sorry, not sorry for being the best. 언제든지 내가 좀 mad. Look at the gold, all on my chest. Look at the gold, call it a flex.
You never know what will happen at Worlds.
The stage is set, the curtain is drawn.
没人能够预见会是这种情况。
This is the game people want to see.
新的王者诞生了！
Kaboom! They've lit the fuse.
你看到了吗？
They're gonna win. This is it.
back, everybody. We are here at the LCK regional qualifiers for the Korea region. Of course, we just got done with game number 1. Afrika did take the win after the comeback victory, actually, showing that today they do look like the better team, but we're expecting KT to potentially mix things up in this series. We'll see if Smeb ever goes down to the support role, if anything like that does change. But either way, KT do have decision here on the side selection. I'm with Wadid today. What were your thoughts after game number 1, Wadid?
I'm glad that I have no POG votes today. So, I mean, I'm fine with it. And, I mean, yeah, there is change on the top side. Sohwan is in, and also Kuro is in the mid lane. It's really interesting that they are changing their laners on the top side.
How about the bottom lane? How about...
I mean, Smeb is out, so...
Nope, no change on the support role that we could see.
I mean, he was underperforming on the bot side, especially with Alistar, so I want to see more the pick that he prepared for this regional qualifier. And I mean, even in ban picks, they gave up Nautilus, which is ban's most comfort pick for him, and just picking into it, it was not high quality support that I was expecting from Tushin. So I mean, I'm wondering what he's thinking and what team is thinking right now. So we'll see what will bring the change with these substitutions.
Yeah, absolutely. And there wasn't much focus on the support side with the pick ban. I mean, there were 5 or 6 AD carries banned, actually 5 by the side of KT, and still Aiming and Mystic were able to have some pretty good games after all of that. So it's obvious where the focus is, and we saw that Mystic was able to carry a little bit better in that one, but definitely a team effort. We were highlighting, of course, Keen and Spirit alongside of Mystic. And it turns out no POG, actually, because this is best of 5s, playoff-esque style with the qualifier. And so we can talk about who we think is the player of the game, but there won't be any official one, maybe a player of the series. Not even sure about that one, because, again, there is another step after this one to go up against T1 in the next best of 5.
Oh, yeah. And I'm wondering if, they're going to look for kind of late game style on the bot side again, because I mean they banned 5 AD carries, right? So maybe Ezreal could be the better choice. But I mean, if you want to play Ezreal, then I think more aggressive style support is way more better for Ezreal, because bot lane prio matters a lot right now with the mid lane prio. Because I mean, I really feel like strong teams are not caring about the Drake tempo, but more about the header tempo, right? And the bot lane priority matters a lot when it comes to first header. So I think I'm wondering if they are gonna look for defensive support again with Tushin in the game 2. And yeah, I mean, I don't think it's gonna work that well though, because of what he performed, what he showed up in game 1.
Yeah, he certainly looked weak on the Alistar. We need to see something else, I think. Some other kind of pick, regardless of what it is. We saw that he was thinking about many different choices as well. He hovered over the Bard. There was another one that he hovered over, I'm forgetting now.
Leona.
But he eventually ended up... Yeah, Leona, that's right. But then he ended up on the Alistar after all of that. And he wasn't able to do much aggressively or defensively. And so that's why I was almost expecting Smeb to be coming in for the support role for game 2. But not going to be the case just yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's BO5, so maybe that can be the change again. And I just want to see if Smeb is actually preparing support right now, because if that is actually the card for KT, then Smeb could definitely just play one game on support right now in solo queue. Just waiting for game 3, you know?
True.
So
just to make sure, just in case they need him to be ready. And again, it wasn't all about Tucson, but certainly that was one of the pieces that didn't fit really well in the puzzle for that game. So either way, it'll be interesting to see what they do decide on here. I'm curious about Kuro. Note that Yukal also did get subbed out. So Solan is in for Smeb, Kuro is in for Yukal, and we'll have to wait and see what kind of different bans come in against those players, because we saw both Azir and TF banned against Yukal, will they respect Kuro and some of the picks that he's able to bring out? Will they respect Sohan? And he's played so many games of Kennen. I think that's one of the other picks that you may want to consider. But again, Kennen's kind of fallen out of the meta. So it'll be interesting to see what both teams decide in game number 2.
I mean, Kuro is known as best supportive mid laner in LCK. So I think he can bring up some TSM's strategy.
Yeah.
I mean, Bjergsen showed up with the great supportive mid laners and like supported pretty well on the top side. So that's why they won just last night, right? So I mean, I think Kuro can just like adapt it into KT right now. And yeah, as you mentioned, Sohan played pretty well when he was out. So I mean, I'm expecting something like a Camille TF, like those kind of proactive picks and mainly focused on the top side. Because yeah, I mean, as we know, KT's bot side is not performing well. Like both players, also Mystic. I mean, aiming. His Ezreal's positioning in the early game skirmishes was not that like clean, right? So I think like those like unstable situations. So the bot side is like not they want to have with their picks, right? So I think this substitution can like bring a lot of positive changes right now, and it seems like the game is delayed a little bit, right?
Yeah. Certainly feels that way. I'm taking a look at Sungke, who seems like he's getting some kind of update as to potentially what the issue might be. And we are getting... Okay, so it's the sub players, the setting up time is taking a little bit longer than expected. So just waiting for Kuro and Sohan to settle in, set up all their settings and, of course, their gear, and make sure that they're ready to go into this game. But... yeah, I mean, it was interesting to see, again, Keen go up against the Malphite and still have fantastic play later on in the game. And I think Smeb on the Malphite, that's one way to try to neutralize him in lane. But Sohan is definitely another player that is not scared to bring out the spears. A lot of the Korean players talk about, the spear versus the shield. And I think he's a player that will play like an Aurelia or a Kennen or something that's willing to go... sword to sword with Keen, and honestly, I don't know if that's a good idea. Because Keen is just so good. I'm not sure. What do you think, Wadid?
I think he can bring up some Jace and Camille. I mean, because Kuro is in top lane is not about only 1v1, right? So I think Kuro can bring up some great change for KT. But at the same time, worldwide, meta, like top lane meta is more about shields, right? With Ornn and Chen, those kind of supportive champions. Maybe some Renekton's, but it seems like they're kind of slow into like coming into just bring up some new metas. And I don't think it's great news for them because it's World's regional qualifier, right? And right after this, they need to go compete against the world teams. So I think I want to see some more of like meta picks on the top side, not like they're like coin flipping just for this moment, right?
Yeah, true. Because you can coin flip all you want, and maybe you steal a couple of games away and make it through, but then you're going up against T1. And yes, Afrika were able to take the victory over T1 the last time, but I think in a best of 5, and with T1 preparing a bit more, even so, because of the loss before, I'm sure they're going to come in really strong for that best of 5, if it's against Afrika or against KT. So, again, this is kind of like, who is going to be the underdog against T1? That's what we're deciding today. Like, who's going to have the honor of going up against T1 and trying to take away a chance at going into Worlds? But so far, it does look like Afrika is on a little bit of better form, at least based on game 1. But the draft was interesting. It was a little bit off meta, and I think we could see some different scenarios, let's say, for games 2 and 3.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I want to see more support picks from Ben as well, because I mean his Nautilus is good, right? Everyone knows, and everyone respect that pick. That's why most of the teams are just banning Nautilus against Afrika Fricks. But this time around they just opened because they need to ban all the AD carries. And
Yeah.
it seems like the game is gonna start soon right now.
Yeah, we did get the word that should be both the sub players coming in and set up by now. So looks like we are ready, guys, to jump into draft for game number 2. This time KT with side selection will select blue. So we're probably just going to be swapping sides every game unless something drastic happens and one of the teams wants to switch something up.
Yeah.
But let's see what happens here in this draft.
Blue side seems a little better because you can build up so many things with the first pick. For example, there is not like top 1 AP pick in the jungle side. For example, there is Lilia, Nidalee. You can pick either way, like what matchup you want to play. So like it seems like blue side is a little bit better when it comes to comparing the win rate about the side. And Africa Fix decides to ban Lily on the red side.
Yeah, pretty interesting. Of course, they first picked it on blue, which, again, was cool to see. They definitely have a lot of faith and spirit to pilot that champion very well,
Yeah.
but the fact that they think it's so good that they don't want to give it to the side of KT is quite interesting, as Caitlyn seems to be the obvious last ban. She is quite strong right now. I don't think we're going to see much of her in this series.
So are they gonna first pick Nidalee? That's my question. Otherwise, Africa Frix is just gonna pick up with potentially with Renekton as well. So there is some caution. Okay.
All right, there it is. It's going to be locked in.
It's pretty interesting because there is 2 picks, right? Senna and Ashe. So I was expecting Nidalee first pick from KT side, but it seems like we are a little bit lagged, but it's okay, guys. Everything is fine.
Okay, we made it through, and yeah, Senna comes in and immediately Keen slaps down Lucian, and they're gonna go for Volibear here. So we're not looking at the Renekton Nidalee style, we're looking at solo lane Lucian most likely with Volibear as kind of just the strong, stable jungler for Afrika, very strong in the early game especially.
Yeah, I mean, if Africa Frix picked up Nidalee and Renekton and Ashe at the same time, I would say they want the draft, but it seems like they're just preferring Lucian because of the flex potential. But yeah, I guess they're just picking up Wukong because it's better matchup on the top side, but again, they can flex it, and I'm wondering if Fly is able to pull off this Lucian on the mid lane.
You know, I'm not sure about that one. You were talking about flex pick, and I'm like, maybe Keen and Mystic.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Fly, he's a great control mates player. There's a reason why they banned away his Orianna here for game 2. But I'm not sure about his Lucian. But maybe I'll be proven wrong. Who knows? As looks like Ezreal might be the choice here for Mystic.
Actually, what if they put Keen on the mid lane and just put Fly top orb?
Whoa.
I think it can be really great strategy for Africa Frix, by the way.
You know, imagine Keen in the mid lane.
Oh yeah.
That just sounds scary in general. Then you give him like a kind of a flexy into a good matchup up against Kuro, who's kind of like a control maze player at the same time. I like that idea, actually. I wonder if Afrika will see it.
I mean, Fly is really great on the control champions like Ornn and Galio, those kind of champions, right? So, I mean, he can definitely play topside as well. So, but maybe it's not happening for this regional qualifier. And it seems like Spirit is preferring Volibear more than Nidalee. And it can be risky at the same time because obviously Nidalee has better jungling than Volibear. So if you cannot catch up some moments with the ganking potential, then you're gonna just slowly losing the game against Nidalee, right? So I want to see like what they want to build up around the mid jungle, because it seems like most likely Keen's Lucian on the top lane, right?
Yeah. I think that is most likely for sure. And we're going to see probably support be picked here and then keep that Lucian flex. Then we talked about his Nautilus. That's banned this game.
Oh,
Will he just go into the Gragas? That can certainly mix things up
mid lane.
with its cask.
It's gonna be mid lane Gragas, right? From
You think so?
Fly? Yeah, I mean, why not? A lot of players played mid lane Gragas, and it seems like you just wanna have a easy lanes, and I think mid Gragas is one of the pick that you can just go through the laning phase. So I think it's okay.
Okay, we'll see. I mean, that certainly, as you mentioned, can be pretty safe from Fly. It looks like Azir is going to be coming out here for Kuro, who he has played his fair share of Azir, but not the most, hasn't had the most wins on that champion compared to some of his other stuff. And Yasuo comes out.
So wait, is it Senna?
Let's break it down.
Is it Senna, Yasuo bot lane, or Senna, Wukong
Yep.
bot lane, and Yasuo topside for Sohwan? Or I don't know, man. I mean, it's most likely Senna, Yasuo bot lane. Oh,
This is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm not
And you were
sure.
right about the mid Gragas. Here comes Tarek. He's like, well,
yeah. I mean, Yasuo cannot block Tarek's abilities, and it seems like they are more about all-ins, right?
yeah. I mean, you consider Wukong knockup, Yasuo having fun,
Wait.
Azir knockup, Yasuo having fun, backup from Nidalee and Senna. Certainly,
So it's aiming
Tarek
Yasuo.
Ultimate can be so good against that.
It's aiming Yasuo and Tushin support Senna on the bot lane. Wow, this is interesting.
This is
I mean,
not what I expected.
yeah, I mean, I don't think they're gonna synergize well when it comes to 2v2 or even 3v3 with Nidalee jungle, because there is no airborne for Yasuo, right? I mean, if they go for the team fight, they have Azir and Wukong, but it's all about laning phase, right? And this Mystic and Ban is gonna have easy timing in coming into the laning phase. So I mean, we'll see what they prepared, but this is really spicy, and it's game 2. If they lose this game, it's gonna be 2-0 for Africa Freaks.
Yeah, after bringing out your Yasuo composition, right? That I don't know if they have any more tricks up their sleeve, to be honest. It's definitely something we haven't seen in quite a while here in the LCK. And Aiming says, well, I'm throwing caution to the winds. Let's see what can happen here. As, I don't know. This is going to be really interesting. As you mentioned, I think they're going to be looking to just stop the bleeding early and try to get to those Wombo combo team fights later on in the game. And it's going to be up to Frika to try to neutralize that exactly. As here we go. Down into the bottom lane goes the Yasuo as we start up game 2.
I mean, it's good against Ezreal AD carry. I mean, you might know this information, but I'm not sure if it's combined with Tarek right now, because Tarek loves to play against melee champions, right? And
Yeah.
it prevents the all-in from Yasuo as well. So I think that was really smart choice by Ben, but at the same time, we can put the question mark on his master race on this champion, because most likely when we expect from Ben, when he was not playing Nautilus, his performance was way worse. So it can be really coin flip for Africa Freaks as well. And also there is Gragas mid lane, which is not normal. And oh yeah, this is happening, by the way. Kin mid lane.
It's actually happening.
I told
you!
you!
Called it. You called you nailed this draft, Wadid. I mean, you saw it through and through. Really got to give you props, and it's really happening. I mean, Fly is gonna go top with teleport Gragas and just try not to die, and technically a shield, right? You can go for the tanky Gragas. I don't know if he's gonna be going for any kind of like AP build. We'll have to wait and see. Did take Scorch, which is pretty interesting up against the Wukong. But either way, here comes Bono into the jungle as well really early on. Looks like Spirit's going to get over the wall right away and spot this one.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to a smite fight. We saw this before. You remember the finals.
Keen is here.
Canyon, yeah, Keen is here. And so is the rest of Afrika trying to just burst down Bono. He has to flash away. Mystic's still getting to work, and Bono will just have to dash out of there. So kind of an awkward start for Bono now, because Bono started red straight into enemy blue, and he had to blow his flash on top of that. So the Nidalee just going to be a bit absent from this early game.
Yeah. Some small trades right now.
Yeah, Mystic taking a ton of damage, actually has to flash away from that one, and aiming is just putting on a masterclass down on the bottom side. Blue's exhaust for that one, but I mean, you'll always take that trade for the enemy flash. And the exhaust did get used at some points during both of those fights. So definitely some good looks here, at least from the bottom lane of KT.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's exhaust plus heal against the TP and exhaust on the bot side. So KT is just using their pressure in the early game. But as you mentioned, Bono, his jungling is kind of messed up.
No flash here for Bono. The flash comes in from Spirit. Pretty easy setup. Where is his team, though? Trying to flash the wall. Ben is going to get there, and that's first blood over the side of Afrika. Going the way of Volibear, and here comes the teleport from the top lane. Aiming and Tucson in a really awkward spot. Yasuo, though, is going to get away. Tucson not even going to bother to blow his flash there, as now Afrika take the over 1,000 gold lead after taking down 2 kills plus the first blood down in the bottom river.
So because of the lane swap, because Keen being on the mid lane, Lucian could have early game prior, so that helped out Volibear in the early game, and top of that, like, he helped out the bot lane skirmishes again because of the mid prior. So this strat is working out for Afrika Freaks right now pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, this is
Keen mid lane, by the way.
Key mid lane, and also, oh man, this is just, you know, Nidalee, you talked about a little bit of risk that can come in, and certainly Bono did go for some of those risks, really trying to get ahead. And that is the kind of player that Bono is, and you can see, even after blowing his flash, he doesn't have much vision. He just gets shut down by Spirit in a really nice flashy play from Ben.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think he should have just coin flip the blue buff with the abilities that he got before, because I mean, he should know that he had no mid lane prior, right? So I was expecting him to just coin flip just 50-50 the blue buff, but he didn't take that. And also after that, there was no like right to take that both scuttles, but it seems like he's just emotional, I guess. But he shouldn't be emotional, right? I mean, like, because of that, KT lost so much for the early game, while KT's bot lane is finally performing well in the laning phase.
Yeah, I think after you blow your flash and do not take the opponent's blue, you should probably not be looking for risky scuttle crabs when you don't have priority. So we'll chalk it up to that. We'll hope that Bono can try to turn it around here after a shaky beginning to this game. At least he's keeping up in terms of farm, as a Nidalee should. And it's just a little bit of a lead, but definitely that 1 kill on Keen is very scary. He's already getting some nice gold in his pockets, alongside of Spirit getting a really fantastic early start. He's also gone Predator Volibear, and if you've got like a fed early boots start with the Volibear, he can just wreak havoc on so many of these lanes.
Yeah, I mean, I actually didn't check before, but Keen actually picked up Corrupting Pole for his first item. So that helped early game prior as well. So, I mean, those small details was helping Afrika Freaks a lot. So, yeah, that was really great strat by Afrika Freaks. But because of the bot prior and because of the tempo that KT have on the mid lane right now, they are getting first straight. Yeah, the objective control KT, they're doing it right. But is it okay? Because they lost with the 3 Drakes last game as well. So, I mean, a lot of strong teams, strong top teams are showing that Drake tempo is not great insurance right now in this meta. So it's more about header on the top side.
Yeah, you would have to have, you know, a very specific composition to, you know, really love the early Cloud Drake that comes out here from the side of KT. It's definitely not going to be game deciding.
No.
I think is what we're both agreeing on, but at least they're doing that. We'll see what happens here with the Herald. As you can see that Spirit, rather than try to, you know, go in there and foolishly contest the Drake with all that Bob Prio, he just goes ahead, clears out the rest of his jungle mostly, and was looking for a play there in mid lane. He's now level 6, as is Bono. And just looking to clear out some vision around that Herald I was talking about.
Oh yeah, I mean, their both side vision control is fantastic from KT. So I think they can just keep snowball and keep shove in on the both side. But I think Africa Freaks is fine as well because KT has melee champions, they cannot hit the turret enough, so the plate is not gonna snowball for the KT side. And also they have Azure Taric, which is such a great late game tool, so they're not in hurry again. Like just what happened in game 1. They're just waiting for their timing.
Yeah, no rush for sure. And you can see that Bono here is going to get started. Spirit, though, running on through, and Keen able to push it here. So everybody's got their eyes on this. The Predator will be used
It's gonna be 5v5
by Spirit. Yeah, everybody's running up here, literally, on this map. Spirit, I don't think you want to just run straight in there, as there are 4 members of KT aiming in a pretty awkward spot. Keen able to zone him away, but the Rift Herald is going to go the way of Bono, but he will lose his life for it. Follow up here onto Soan. Perfect stun out of Ben. This guy has been pretty insane a couple of times in a row as the follow-up comes in from the side of Spirit over the wall. And they will also pick off Soan. So 2 kills go the way of a Freak Up, but the Rift Herald at least was picked up here by KT.
No, they
Although,
couldn't.
actually, no, they didn't pick it up.
They couldn't.
Well, they got the kill, but they didn't get the eye, so that's really unfortunate, actually, for the side of
I mean,
KT.
Drake is not important, as I mentioned, so the header was the point, and Africa Freaks, they knew it, so they wanted to contest it as a 5-man, and that was really great play by Fly on the top side with Gragas. That made a huge difference in this team fight. I think it was really great flash engage on Bono.
Yeah, I mean, really good start there. You can see he just bops Bono down. Sohan gets stunned by the perfect dazzle. And watch Fly with a 3-man body slam, able to follow up and pick that one up. So Fly in the top lane, imagine that. Gives the Teemo thumbs up on his way past the eye of the Herald.
Yeah, I mean,
And says, you're not picking that one up, buddy.
I want to see this more, actually. Like, just Fly putting on the top side with even Ornn pick. I mean, he's really great Ornn player as well, right?
Yeah,
And
sure.
he's actually doing such a great job on the top side this time as well with Gragas.
And Keen is an insane laner.
Insane mid
you will
laner.
have- You can pick so many like mechanically difficult, but you know, lane prio mid laners for Keen, and just put him on Lucian. You can put him on Camille. Who knows? I mean, this guy can play pretty much anything. So the possibilities are kind of endless. We'll see if they do continue going for this, or if this is just a one-off for this game.
Yeah, maybe because of the Lucian pick and the matchup that they have on the top side, maybe this is this bandage strat for this game. But yeah, I love this. It's more stable and more impactful for superstar player in Africa Freaks.
And then imagine, we already have such a insane mid lane lineup.
Oh, yeah.
in Korea. Imagine adding Keen to that. It's like, okay, well, I think I know which region has the best mid laners now that Keen's there. As going in, he's gonna line it up perfectly. Not gonna get the kill, but this is what we're talking about, man. This guy can shut down pretty much any lane. And again, he is 2-0, so that will help him out. Kuro is actually doing a really nice job of keeping up in terms of the CS, but still, I'm getting pretty excited for this for this role swap.
Oh, yeah.
Potential.
And this is Muramana Lucian. Last time Yukol showed up, just crit Lucian on the mid lane. But this time around, Kane is following the meta. And I think this one is better on stage. Maybe not in solo queue, but on stage I think this is so much better.
Why is that? What do you think are the like really intricate differences between those two?
Because in solo queue, game decides in 3 minutes, and like you cannot expect maximum damage of Lucian with a Manamune build, right? In the early game, but on stage, you can control your teammates, right? You can control what timing that you want to fight. So Muramana is fitting pretty well in the team game.
Yeah, you can sit back, wait, scale up a bit, and not just have your teammates, your jungler, just go in and into level 1 or anything like that.
I mean,
so
for example,
it helps.
you can say, oh, by the way, I have tier and I have Manamune just right now, so let's not take the fight and just take it slow because I'm gonna have great late game. But if you say it in solo queue, then they're gonna not care about it, right? Like, oh, I don't care, I'm just going in.
I play Xin Zhao. Or no, more accurately, I play Lee Sin. I am going into the enemy jungle. I don't care what is going on with my team. But I digress, as we do have the Infernal Drake available here. You see that Afrika, you know, they're hanging around, but they're not really being super pushy about it. They're not like, okay, this is our Drake, get the hell out of here, or anything like that. They're just kind of denying it for now from KT, waiting for a better moment. Here they come in now. Spirit is going to eat a spear.
Yeah, but there is no reason to Afrika Freaks to avoid this fight because Azure got some item, he tip it back, and also there is Volibear Taric with the mid lane Priya, so it will be the fight here.
Yeah, here we go. Keen is just so scary. Level 10 coming in. And Mystic from the backside, always threatening it. He's going to find Sohan as it will go the way of KT, but they're looking for some kills. That is a massive true shot barrage coming out from the Ezreal, and everybody's going to be cleaned up. It's only Aiming and Sohan left available, as looks like they may look to turn this one around. Spirit having trouble with his pathing right now. That was pretty unfortunate, but still looking for the kill here onto Sohan. The Dazzle is going to sail wide, and so they will not pick up that extra kill. But 3 kills on top of that one will go the way of Afrika, and they're going to get even more on top of that.
Afrika Freaks looks so much better than game 1 when Kin is on the mid lane, and also Fly on the top lane. He's just playing for his life, and those engages with TP Flag is just out of my mind. Like, that was huge engage. He's so good at top lane as well, right?
The top lane Fly, he's just so amazing. I mean, that first teleport wasn't, wasn't the greatest, but I mean, his team had already kind of cleaned them up at that point. So, but that teleport, absolutely, and obviously his play around the Rift Herald was really flashy and cool. So, in goes Aiming. Immediate exhaust comes in, plus teleport, and now Aiming with no flash is just going to straight up die. Really not sure about that one, especially when you don't have your flash, and Keen has his teleport. That's just straight up summoner advantage, and Aiming trying to make the play looks a little bit foolish.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing that I was talking about before the game, the mentality. They're not stable as a team, so that was so emotional. As you mentioned, they were not thinking about the summoner's advantage, but yeah, I mean, these engage.
Look at this.
Oh, man. Huge.
So dirty.
I mean, it's Fly on the top lane, by the way. Like, he performs so much better.
Best top lane Gragas LCK.
Yeah, it's confirmed. I mean,
well,
just going into Taric, who has exhaust, is not working that well. And also, there is mid lane TP as well. So, I mean, everything is just not working out for KT. But at the same time, focus is kind of lost from KT. Like, everything seems just falling down.
Yeah, it's hasn't been the best look from KT here in this series. Spirit is going to put his big bear body in the mid lane and say, well, this is our mid lane now. KT, they did pick up Shirley, so they're looking for this bottom turret. Should be able to get that and give some gold over the side of Aiming. Definitely very much needed after the way that this game has been going.
Yeah. I mean, even in the late game, there is Taric who prevents the Yasuo all-in potential. So I think everything is just working out for Afrika Freaks. And yeah, I mean, their structure is even better. Like, they know like how to build up the fight and vision control. And I think it's just strongly coming from Keen's mid lane prior, and his knowledge about the lane pressure is like helping so much for Africa Freaks, and it seems so much better than game 1, because even though Africa Freaks won the game 1, it was sloppy and kind of Resident Sleeper game because the timing was kind of off. Like I was thinking that Africa Freaks could have better timing when it comes to the objective control, but they gave up so much during the mid game. But this time around, like it seems so much better, right?
Yeah, really gotta hand it to them. Certainly, game number 2 looks even cleaner, and they've got a nice healthy lead. It's not anything too insane at this point. As Bono, this is pretty unfortunate at this point in time. He's just gonna get shredded to pieces there, and I'm not sure exactly how they knew he was there. Maybe he was clearing out a ward and he just started his recall before the vision fully faded out. Definitely had that happen to me before. But either way, they knew exactly where he was, able to easily take him down. And unfortunately, this is what happens when the Nidalee gets behind and goes for some risky plays, some coin flipping, and doesn't get away with it.
Oh yeah, definitely. The structure was kind of destroyed by himself from bonus early game play, so there is no excuses. But at the same time, it was really great defending plays by Africa Freaks. So yeah, if they can snowball this game cleanly, then I'm strongly just saying that Keen is the top 3 mid laner in LCK.
Well, I don't know. We'll see some other games against some other teams.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll play mid against Faker.
Yeah, who knows?
We could see that in the next series if Africa make it through. And well, Sohan in a pretty unfortunate spot, but he is Wukong, able to just get out of there, has some support from his teammates. Spears not really doing much at this point. Bono, I think, probably just wants to go support build and try to heal aiming, or Sohan, or something like that at this point. And everybody's kind of just grouped up in the top side as the Ocean Drake is live, which is kind of interesting. Generally, you would see the teams grouping up around that Drake, but nobody making a move towards it just yet.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's Africa Freaks' Drake, right? They can never contest when the item difference is this kind of huge. So KT's just try to earn some times for their items, because obviously they have some late game potential with this Yasuo and Senna and Azir. So yeah, I mean, they can say they have the late game insurance, but it seems like Africa Freaks, they just want to keep snowball this game. Maybe they're not even thinking about the 4th Drake potentially. Because, yeah, I mean, if they are thinking about it, they should snowball and just take the Drake faster enough. But, yeah, I mean, they just want to push the turret.
Priorities, I guess. It's they might just win the game before they get 4 Drakes anyway.
Oh,
so
yeah.
maybe they're saying, well, let's accelerate that rather than trying desperately to go for the dragons straight on time. Still should be able to pick them up, even if it takes them a little bit longer than expected. We'll have to wait and see what guys like Kuro can do. Mystic coming in here. Exhaust going to be used. Plus the knock-up as, here we go, Cosmic Radiance comes in and Spirit says, hello, my good friends. Let me tell you about Volibear. That's what he wanted to say, but he did get a bunch of flashes away from the side of KT, and even though no kills were taken down, certainly some value to the side of Africa.
Oh yeah, and there is no vision on Nashor right now, so can they actually try Nashor with Azir here? I think they're doing it right now.
They're doing it.
Oh.
And it should be spotted, I would imagine.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Maybe not. No, I guess not.
So yeah.
It's skirted like the outside of it. They're just going for it, man. I think they're definitely going to get it. There's zero vision. And the Scryer's Bloom misses, and Keen is going to be kicking himself for this one when he sees the replay, because that will go the way of KT at 21.5 minutes. A pure robbery, theft here in this game as KT steal away the Baron.
Oh yeah, I was curious about the vision control because it was only blue wards on the Nashor side. And even though Africa Freaks pushed them out, they actually moved towards the bot side for some reason when there is nothing on the bot side, right? So it was really interesting rotation by Africa Freaks, but at the same time KT, they picked up the chance and that was lucky at the same time. So it worked out. The vision control before the team fight, that helped out.
Certainly did, and this was not meant to happen. This is absolutely not. We'll see what KT can get done with it. Obviously, it takes it off the map for a good I guess it's more than 5 minutes, but certainly off the map for quite a while. And you see Keen is always threatening on the side there, just saying, you know, this side lane is going to be mine, absolutely. 3-0-5, he's already got 2.5 items here, 22 minutes. And just having a really fun time. You see Fly playing the weak side really perfectly, hasn't done anything much, you know, he's just chilling down there.
This guy.
Having a good time.
I mean, I'm not even joking, by the way. Like, his top lane positioning is so much better. It's working out, man.
I would have to agree.
I mean, he's...
And obviously he's playing a good Gragas, which is something that works, I
우리
think, better
덩크모
even in the
풀마다
top
그냥 다
side.
먹어줘. 그냥 먹고 싶은 사람 다 먹어. 다 줄게.
clear the
나
top side jungle. That's from Spirit.
이제 우리 다음 오브젝트 탑파우다 얘들아 이제.
Next objective is the top turret, and they were like not even aware about the Nasher vision at all. So yeah, that was the communication from Africa Freaks.
Yeah, and Spirit was just like, take everything.
Yeah.
Everything is yours.
Yeah, I mean, that was funny part, right? Like, oh, by
Yeah.
the way, Keen, you can take whatever you want on the top side, by the way. And
Yeah, you can take the jungle,
Yeah.
you can take the lane. How about the bottom side jungle as well? Whatever you want.
yeah.
You can farm it.
I mean, I agree. Like, after 15 minutes, I think jungle camps are not junglers. I think it's laners. And because of the level difference is so, like, important when it comes to the damage dealer, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, especially when you're playing like a tank jungler who, you know, he gets a couple items. He's pretty tanky. Unless he's going to go for like some supportive items and really wants to rush those out.
Yeah.
If it's not that case, then, you know, just sit back, get the gold over to your carries, essentially. Don't mind it.
Fly?
Spirit is really scary.
Yeah.
He's just getting straight in the face of Tucson. Not sure if he's got the damage. Nearly sniped out there, but the heal does come in from the Nidalee to save his life.
Yeah. And for some reason, Fly was in base for 30 minutes when he had no TP. For some reason, yeah. Maybe because of the item. Maybe he was waiting for TP, but yeah. Like, I was thinking that maybe Fly was looking for TP flank, but he had no TP. Really interesting moves from Fly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, Africa Freaks is pushing them down through their jungle, using their advantage, and I don't think they're gonna let them have another Drakes in this game.
No way. I think that KT, if they're going to get a Drake, it's going to be a steal, and that's about it. You can see that, by the way, I was asking about, you know, what kind of build Fly was going to go for. He has gone for AP. Is, though, going for some defensive stats, as he did pick up Glacial Shroud. Here is this Ocean Drake being sniped down by the side of Africa. Bono not even going to get close to that one, so it didn't look like he was trying to force a smite steal or anything like that, and that will just be straight up 2 Ocean Drakes now over to the side of Africa as they rotate over and try to deny a lot of this vision.
Oh yeah. I mean, KT, even though they got the Nasher, I think that's only for the delay. I don't think the team fight is changed at all, but yeah. Aiming, he got the 2 cores, main 2 cores for Yasuo, 100% crit, and better crit damage with IE, so maybe KT has chance right now. The item difference is not that huge at this timing. When it comes to like 3rd item and 4th item, then it can be really huge, but this time around, even though the gold difference is like around 3k, the item is still similar. So I think for right now, KT can look for the team fight. But my question is, how?
You've got some options with Wukong and Azir, but Azir is kind of like reactive within a team fight.
Yeah.
Right? We see BDD. He's not really the one that forces engages by himself. He waits for exact right moment to get a couple of people out of position and then sweep them in. Sometime within the team fight, Wukong can do it, but he can't really do it alone.
Yeah.
And if he's got Yasuo following up right away, I feel like they're too far behind to just one shot a backline. They'd have to catch out one specific person.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not going to be easy.
And I think KT, they shouldn't look for engages. And I think they should look for disengage. And after that, they can look for the engage because they have so many dashes, like so many disengage tools from Africa Fricks. So I think just engaging on them and looking for 5v5 is not like positive. So yeah, they should just look for, wait for their mistakes from them. And yeah, still like level difference is a thing, right? So.
Yeah, and it's it's not really.
Yeah.
It's actually not really present. Actually,
That
I
is
think
true,
KT
yeah.
have the advantage through the jungle somehow. Bono, after going 0-4, is 2 levels ahead of Spirit, who stopped farming his own jungle.
Yeah. He's giving up every single thing, and yeah, after the push out on the blue side jungle, actually Africa Fricks is not doing that much. And it seems like they're just giving so much time for KT right now, even though they could snowball even harder with this advantage. And finally, Nashor is up, so they can just zone them out with the vision control because they can definitely win the fight because they got the lead. But it can be really coin flip as well because they got the item right now. The timing is ready for KT.
Yeah, and we'll see if they actually do go for it here. If the engage comes in, the culling is just gonna destroy Tucson. Where did his health bar go? That was insane. As Fly, another crazy engage. How does this man keep doing it? As the Cosmic Radiance comes in, and there is not much hope. Not really sure what that was, Kuro. Not gonna lie.
Oh yeah.
As the rest of his team was just backing away. That fight did not have much hope. And KT, still with 0 kills, Afrika pick up the Baron and one more.
Yeah, the game went a little bit sloppy again, but yeah, like after that they just built up the structure right again, and I mean Fly, this guy is just insane on this Gragas top lane.
He's so good. I want to see him up on Ornn in Game 3, man.
Oh yeah,
I want to see them do it.
and I want to see Keen playing Zoe as well.
Oh, man.
That's my dream. But anyways, it seems like Africa Fricks, they're just pushing 2 inhib turrets at the same time.
Yeah, they don't really care anymore. They're like, actually, we're done with this game, guys. They're kind of taking, okay, they get the tornado here onto Keen, and finally they're going to get this guy, but the rest of the team is just so damn strong. I'm not sure if they've got it in here. Fly sacrificing himself. Great timing there on the stopwatch, but might just go down as the damage does come in. But it doesn't matter. Again, he was the sacrifice. Although Kuro is going to get a nice job done there, but Spirit able to shut him down. As now Kuro in a rough spot just gets slapped by the Bear Claws. And that should be game number 2. Going the way of Afrika. By the way, triple kill to the Taric. As Ben, I think he had also a fantastic game.
Yep.
Definitely deserved it here, as they will take down the turrets and the Nexus for game number 2.
Oh yeah, those 2 tanky guys are just hitting the turret right now, so it's a little bit slower, but it doesn't matter. Africa Fricks is gonna take the win, and it was way cleaner than game 1. And I want to see more of these strat from Africa Fricks because it fits so well for them.
Yeah. Oh man. We saw Afrika unleashed, perhaps. That was really cool to watch. And who knows? I mean, we'll have to wait and see if we get anything like that. As Keen really popping off with his mid priority with the mid Lucian. We know that he can play Lucian, and him being in the mid lane just allowed him to have so much more power and effect over the early game, especially because it went the way it did. And Fly I think if we had to give player of the game, I think you would agree we would have to give it over to Top Fly
man.
and his engages.
That is true. I mean, even though there is no POG in this regional qualifier, like I would definitely say that Fly was like landing so many critical engages on enemy teams, and that was really needed for Africa Freaks. And I mean, the way how they used early game mid prior was way cleaner. So I mean, I just want to see more of these role swaps. And yeah, I mean, I'm wondering what KT is thinking right now, because even though they got substitutes in with Kuro and so on, the game was not changed at all. Like their bot lane was trying, but at the end they were like not having a good performance again. And also the top side, there was no timing for their top side at all, because yeah, I mean, it was so one-sided.
Yeah, I mean, Kuro and so on really didn't even get much of an opportunity to do anything in this game. It was really nice plays by Ben as well. Got to shout him out. Had a couple of really fantastic dazzles, and even the decision to go for the Taric we discussed in the draft was really intelligent and worked out very nicely. And you can see here Fly, some perfect engages, knocks Sowan away, and also knocks Bono in. So gets the 2-4, and then the follow-up there with the body slam was pretty insane.
Yeah,
so.
and this one as well. 3-man E flash. Oh man, that was so clean.
Well, we need to see him do this again in Game 3. Although, do we really need to? I feel like Frika is playing so much better right now than KT. And KT, we've seen many emotional plays. I think Bono had not the best game here in game number 2, aiming with some whoopsies as well. And yeah, this is just bullying at this point. Poor Italy, just trying to go back.
Oh yeah.
But not able to do much.
That was lucky Nesher right there, but yeah, I mean, it didn't change that much. They delayed some time, but yeah, the tempo was not on KT, and the team fight was so much better from Africa Freaks. And look at how use their like advantage, especially from Keen, and also Fly landing another superior engage with Top Dragons is like blowing my mind right now.
He was born to play Top Gragas.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. And it was the one moment where we're like, okay, you know, if KT weren't miles behind, we could see how their composition would work. But it's a little bit too little too late at this point, and so not able to do much.
Yeah.
Kuro, pretty unfortunate game for him as well. Really wasn't able to make anything happen on the Azir.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Still did the most damage.
I'm wondering if they're gonna change the players again, KT, and maybe the Ignite Graves is like ready to play again, because I mean, if you want a coin flip, then you should like do it with the coin flip player, no?
I like that idea, right? You know, just embrace who you are.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we'll go back to Xinjiao or something like that. But I think in terms of the meta, Ignite Graves would be quite nice. Aiming didn't do anything in this one, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The laning phase didn't look so bad, but just, you know, after that it was just like, ugh. Just kind of sat there and didn't really do anything. So KT will have to reimagine their drafts for game number 3. But first, guys, a break. We'll be right back.
Coming at you like real, real wild. Here to light it up, set the world on fire. Gonna disappear. I'm your eraser. Aim the cut just like a razor. Murked up in this world, my blazer. I got all the boys on me. I got all the lines on ring. Knocking dead, turning heads. I got all the eyes on me. Pretty face, 걸어 들어와. 유행 선두자. 원하지만 못 찾아나. 애가 찾아나. You like whoa. 달리 유도 go. 난 알지, I know. 준비해. Cause I like the ball. 멈추지 않아. 말할래. 그게 like a bag. 그거 말고 bye. 믿어봐. 그만큼 크게. 어깨 펴고 high. 100% 덤비지 못해. 죽여주잖아. 나는 boss. 간지 with the sauce. 원하면 줄게.
I'm doing damage when just how I planned it. I do what I want when I say. 모든 날 따라해 난 끝내주잖아. To live on the edge of insane.
Coming at you loud, real, real wild. Here to light it up, set the world on fire. Gonna break rules and hearts in twos, 'cause that's what the baddest do. I never going back, nah, nah, that. Diamonds on drip, 'cause I came to make a splash. Gonna break rules and hearts in twos, 'cause that's what the baddest do.
It's crazy. Sorry for the bad news. Sorry, I'm so bad. Only took a minute for me to get what you had. Sorry for the bad news. No, it makes you sad. There for a minute, baby, you should pack your bags.
Way that I look should be breaking the law. If I don't got it, I take what I want. My circle small like a round of applause. You know that I love the sound of applause. You know I mean everything that I say. When you see me coming, get out of the way. Back in the sleigh, back in the sleigh. Back and I'm better and ready to stay.
I'm doing damage when just how I planned it. I do what I want when I say. 모든 날 따라해 난 끝내주잖아. To live on the edge of insane. It's crazy.
Sorry, not sorry for being the best. 언제든지 내가 좀 mess. Look at the gold, all on my chest. Look at the gold, call it a flex.
This is what League of Legends looks like. That's a big start. That's a big engage. Oh, 80 minutes on the clock. 80 minutes to dream. Gonna be stunned up. Flash, and there's your first blood. Good lord, man! The dream is alive and well. The crowd erupts.
Welcome back, guys. We are here at the LCK regional qualifiers, and so far, Afrika has been putting on quite the show, mixing things up, switching Keen into mid lane, and swapping Fly up into the top lane. Seemed to be the best thing they've done all season, as it did look very, very strong. But either way, KT not really showing up too much today. Afrika now 2-0, and only need one more win to get that rematch up against T1.
Oh yeah. Okay. There is another substitution.
Oh boy.
Okay, Soan is out and Smeb is in. And Kuro is out and Yukali is out. So they are using the game 1 roster again, right? Yeah.
Yes.
It seems like
so far. And it's only those two subs, so Smeb is back, Yukal's back. Will it help? I'm not sure. Game number 1, I think, was more than just the players and the way they were playing. I think the draft was kind of interesting, and we will see. We will see what they've got in store, because I think that you know, they tried some weirdness, obviously, with the Yasuo down on the bottom side, which we already saw Bono and his bit of coin flippy play with the Nidalee, but I think that pick itself was a bit coin flippy. Either it was going to get very far ahead or do absolutely nothing, as they usually do, and he did 3.5k damage. So, not really sure. What do you think? What would you recommend KT do coming into game 3?
I mean, their game 1 was a lot better, right, compared to game 2. So I think they just need to build up some like easy team comp that they can pull off, like just put some more CCs, put some more front lanes, and I think those kind of things can help them out, because like, for example, the game 1 they had Lucian and Nidalee. They're not synergizing that well, and it's really risky when it comes to the skirmishes, and also the bot lane Ezreal plus Alista, which is not great laning phase at all, and also like you need so much time to build up a strong power spike. And yeah, I mean, that didn't work out at all. So I think they just need to like make it easier than thinking about their lane matchups. Yeah.
Yeah, I would recommend that as well. But Afrika also on the other side are looking like they're playing quite well. We're all getting hyped for the Keen and Fly swap. And pretty interestingly, you know, we were talking about how if Keen goes into the mid lane, then it's just like LCK get some insanely mechanically skilled mid laner to add to their already huge roster of talented mid laners.
Yeah.
But really the star of game number 2 was Fly, actually, off of that swap and his Gragas. So he played that Gragas that well and really held down the top lane. Soan really wasn't able to challenge him much.
True.
What else has he got in store? Are we going to see him back in the top lane at all? That might have just been the one time.
I mean,
or you know,
yeah.
What is he going to do?
I mean, everything is just working really well if they put Fly on the top side, because yeah, as I mentioned, there is some top tanky champions on the top side when it comes to worldwide meta, right? So, but you don't want to put Keen on the tank champion and it didn't work out that well as well when they tried it. Like, do you remember when Keen was playing Ornn? Like, he was not doing much, and he was also not great Ornn player. And yeah, I mean, we are expecting him to carry this team and just be a main carry. So I think putting Keen on the mid lane can work out pretty well. But if they want to just keep playing on their style, just put Keen on the top side and just let him play spear champions like Jace, Akali, those kind of champions. And I think this is still fine, because Fly, also when he was on the mid lane, he is playing fine, like decent, and he was getting all the lane priors. So I think everything is just working out pretty well for them. So like, it's their choice. I mean, they can try something more. And yeah, I mean, the second option is more like sounds funny and interesting as well. So I mean, I want to see more of those tries.
Yeah, I think realistically, you know, this late into the season, just saying like, oh yeah, swap it up, guys, like that's expecting a little bit maybe too much from your players. At the same time, though, I think that Keen and Fly might be two of the players that would have that option, because I feel like they are both. They have some pretty deep champion pools.
Yeah.
Like Fly has shown that he can play pretty much anything. Keen has done a pretty decent job of that as well, and we know he has the skill, but maybe a little bit more preparation would go into a full-time swap. So maybe just like every once in a while, something to catch your opponent off guard, which is definitely what happened a bit there in game number 2. We're just getting kind of hyped because it looked so strong.
Oh, yeah.
And I would be really curious to see them, especially if they go down 1 or 2 games to T1, if they do win this series, of course, to begin with. If they just try to do something like that, like throw Keen into Faker, throw Fly into Kana, that would be an interesting matchup. Certainly a bit more difficult for Fly compared to his matchup up against Soan there in game 2.
Oh yeah, definitely. And Kana got the all-pro team the second, right? And I mean, that's because of his carry potential, and also like everyone agreed that even though Keen is a great top laner, like this summer split, he didn't perform enough to carry his team. So like everyone rated Naguri, Kana, and Raskal better than Keen. And even there is so many good top laners right now in LCK. So I mean, even there is Doran as well, right? So like I think Keen, he needs to like work on more of that, and I think it's mainly about him playing tanky champion on the top side, right? Like I don't think you can be the best top laner if you're just good on like aggressive picks, right?
So apparently we heard that Afrika's Mystic is changing his PC. So that I thought it was just the subs re-swapping as we saw after game 1, but actually they're swapping a PC. It's taking a little bit of extra time. I don't think we're going to have any massive issues like we have had over these remote broadcasts over the last week. And actually, I'm getting the word that we're starting right now. So those issues should be done with for now. I hope I didn't curse it. I hope we don't get any pauses. But either way, guys, we got game number 3, pick ban, starting right now.
Oh, yeah. Take over, guys. And I'm wondering if Africa Freaks is gonna just try to pick up Lucian first, because I mean that felt so much better when it comes to when they build up the team comp, right? So yeah, the first pick can be changed. And I'm wondering if KT is looking for another 580 carry bands on the red side, and that's what they did in the game 1.
I wouldn't mind it. It worked out. Or, no, actually it didn't work out, but it kind of changed the dynamic of the bottom lane, I should say. It didn't work out because they lost, but either way, it did make it pretty interesting and put a lot of pressure on Mystic, I would say, so it worked out in that facet. But either way, the bans all the same so far. Are we just going to get... No, it's going to be Nautilus, actually.
Okay.
So they saw the Taric from Ben, and they're like, not impressed. Actually, we're more scared of your Nautilus. And certainly more of a catch-all ban with that one, as Lilia is going to be picked once again.
So Ashe is open. So that was easy pickup from KT and Hecarim.
Oh, man.
Yeah, this is good matchup for Hecarim. Like most of the people are saying that Hecarim is really good into Lilia, especially when it's not nerfed on 10.16. And yeah, I think it's really great pickup. Meta picks, bottom side also. KT is gonna have lane prior most likely, and that means that Tushin's pressure is not that high right now.
Yeah, and we'll see how it does go. I think that Bono has had a kind of lackluster series so far. Maybe this is his turnaround, trying to speed things up with the Hecarim. You saw the Ezreal coming in here up against the Ashe, so we'll see how Mystic does on this pick, as Set is available and it will be selected here by Afrika. And again, can be flexed to many different roles, as Lulu is going to be the choice here on the side of KT.
Most likely it's gonna be for Tushin. And yeah, I mean, obviously his performance is not that great. So I mean, I was expecting him to play Bard or more playmaking champions with this Ashe, but yeah, kind of disappointing choice from him, but at the same time it's kind of safe for him as well. So there is Karma ban, worrying about Ezreal Karma bot lane.
Shen, slowly coming back here into the meta, also will be denied. And certainly would have been an obnoxious amount of shielding if KT could have also gotten that. And obviously a lot of things to catch a ride on for the side of the Shen, especially the Horsey that Bono will be piloting most likely. But we'll see where that one is going to eventually end up, as KT will also ban Renekton on top of it. So no naughty business out of Renekton up in the top side.
Oh yeah. Obviously Renekton plus Lilia is one of the great combo on the top side, so great ban from KT, but my question is, what are they gonna play on the top side and the mid lane? Because they need to blind pick either one of the pick. And I think they should just pick Akali up because it's the main meta and great blind pick, but I guess they just wanna go for please carry us aiming.
Yeah, and well, Akali was banned, so they didn't have that option. And Fly says,
oh, that's
how
true.
dare you steal my Orianna away? I'm going to play Syndra. No, maybe not. Will we have a little bit of a mix-up here? If this happens, set can be flexed to either top or mid.
Yeah. It can be top side.
But no. It'll just be the Syndra lock-in here for the Fly to play in the mid lane.
And potentially top lane blind pick, right? Or it can be set support, or it can be top set. We still don't know. There is some good blind picks still. Okay.
Camille. Certainly one that you can blind pick. We've seen him many times, and Keen is a guy that I will be confident to pilot that as well. Smeb, considering Vladimir.
No, that shouldn't happen.
Well, yeah, just some troll hovers, it looks like, from Tucson. As Aurelia being considered, but no, it will be Mordekaiser.
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
I think KT, like, Game 3, I think their team comp is way more easier to play this out. Like, they just need to group up and just go forward. That's just that simple. They have Ollie and Prior as well from the bot lane, and also their jungler has the better matchup when it comes to the skirmishes in the mid lane, and their top laner is gonna be like fine with the 5v5. I mean, just going 50-50 on the top side. So I think that's well-made team comp in general, but for Africa Freaks, yeah, again, no more comfort pick for ban, and Ezreal, which is less lane prior on the bot lane, and some questions around the Fly's Syndra, and yeah, I mean, it's really up to them, like how they use Syndra Camille pick on the top side. Otherwise, I think they're gonna lose all the priors in the lane, and yeah, they cannot do anything because this game around, their team comp is not like really balanced like game 1 or game 2, right? So.
Absolutely. Definitely does look a little bit more difficult, we could say, for the side of Africa. I do think that a lot of pressure does once again lie on the shoulders of Bono and also on aiming. We'll see what he can do on this Ashe. Down on the bottom side, he has double shielding in this composition with Orianna and Lulu to help out with that. And obviously, we don't really need to talk too much about Orianna and Lulu with Hecarim, as that will also be a very fun combination. So here we go, guys. Game number 3, KT's last chance to extend the series and try to pull off the reverse sweep, or will Africa just run away with it as they have in the first couple of games?
Definitely. And maybe because of the TES Knight, some mid laners are trying to pick up Syndra. And yeah, I mean, Syndra is one of the great control mage when it comes to the mid lane. You can have some early prior, and the mid late game's potential is also pretty huge. Depends on your skill shots, right? So I think it's great pick up from Fly, but at the same time you're playing against Hecarim with 1k movement speed, so I'm not sure how it's gonna work.
Vano is going to be so incredibly fast with this combo. And on a ward now are Keen and Spirit coming in here and saying, well, I've got the better horsey on my team, and I'm going to trot this pony on into your jungle. And that will be Keen helping Spirit go ahead and take the Raptors. Obviously, Lilia really enjoys this. She's not a good friend of the Raptors, likes to take them down very often. And was able to do that just there. Will also go ahead and take the red, saying, well, I can essentially do whatever I want. You saw the ping on the ward saying, well, he never exited, so I will also enter the jungle. We'll see that ward spot him out as it goes down, so everybody knows where the enemy junglers are. Just that Spirit got a little bit ahead in terms of the jungle clear.
Yeah. And you can see phase rush is obviously the meta right now. Like, there is 5 phase rushes and 2 conquerors. But yeah.
Gotta go fast.
You gotta go fast, yeah.
Yeah.
And
you don't have an option, you just gotta go fast.
And I think it's really great that the KT got one of the easiest bot lane matchup on the bot lane, while when they have like worse performance than enemy team, like it's gonna help them a lot when it comes to like snowballing in the mid game. So let's see if that is helping them enough to have this game snowball.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you're ever going to feel bad if you give aiming a high priority and great meta pick.
Yeah.
Right, he's certainly one of your pillars on your team, one of the guys you would expect to be consistently playing well and all that fun jazz. This is going to be the first time Bono picks up the Hecarim. Remember, guys, that it has been quite a while since we've seen KT play, about 2 weeks. And so, you know, with the Hecarim meta coming in, it does mean that now we will finally get a chance to see Bono pick it up and test it out. So, curious to see how he does do in this one.
And Keen is already kind of bullying Smad with the lane control. He's using the jungler's position, right? Yeah, already having a 10 CS difference coming into 4 minutes.
Very extended trade there as well, even allowing the Mordekaiser to go for the passive and all that jazz. And does a good job of that, so we'll get ahead. Spirit is going to take the Raptors again, and Bono is like, what the hell, man? These are just not my Raptors this game.
Oh yeah, and definitely Bono needs to go for his Raptor. I mean, go for enemy's Raptor. And it seems like he's invading enemy jungle, but
where is he going?
yeah, he's late for this dive for sure.
You would like to have him top lane, for sure. Will they actually go for it is the question. The answer is no. As the Hecarim was spotted, here he comes, going straight for Spirit. That is an immense amount of damage, and Spirit should be going down here, although he's extremely fast, and actually Keen is turning it around. They're going to give that first blood over to the side of Spirit, and that will be the double kill as Keen picks up the second kill. Wow, dude, this could not have gone any worse for the side of KT.
Oh man, this is so huge. He also lost his Raptors and he just invaded enemy jungle for no reason. Maybe he got some vision control, but obviously Smap was feeling that the dive is gonna happen on the top side. It was late, but also Africa Fix had the vision control on the river, so they decided to just get back. And yeah, the 2v2 was so much better because Spirit could disengage. And yeah, this is worst scenario that you can have with the top side.
Yeah, and it turns out, okay, well here comes Ben, not really much doing there. Just going to use Shockwave, level 6 hit here first by Yukao, as the wave is pushing in. But yeah, it turns out the better pony this time around seems to be the Lilia. You saw the speed boost was really critical in getting her the distance to get away from Hecarim. This initial burst and the follow-up from Smeb, he actually autos a minion and then flashes in and gets stunned. So great job by Keen to deny that as well.
Oh yeah, and also Keen picked up the Conqueror, so if the fight extends for Camille, then Camille is gonna have fun time with this rune choice, right? So,
absolutely. Yeah. And well, you thought bullying was happening earlier on. Well, you haven't seen true bullying. Smeb is actually gonna freeze.
I mean, it's not the
Someone
freeze.
Get LS on the phone.
Yeah.
It's not a hard freeze, but you know, it's putting the lane in a better position so that he can farm safer without his summoners,
Yeah.
I suppose, at this point in time.
I mean, it's gonna stack towards Africa Freaks. I mean, if you wanna freeze the wave, you need at least 4 mage minions. So, yeah. I mean, he was just buying some times because the lane matchup is already kind of destroyed.
They're still getting in there. Look at this Hecarim. He's not able to do anything. I don't think they're going to be able to find him here, as there is a control ward to spot out this invade, and Bono's happy he went home. But just because of this momentum from the top side play, the jungle is not happy for KT, the top lane is not happy for KT, and Spirit and Keen can just have their run of the jungle and do whatever they want.
By the way, there is literally no jungle camps on the bot side, and even Spirit is defending his jungle. So, yeah. Bono is pinging enemy jungle, but Spirit is here, so... Oh my gosh, 200 IQ play by Spirit, so...
Yeah, and he spots him. Bono's like, I don't care. I'm just going to do the red. I don't know about that decision. They do have the bot Cryo, so at least they've got that. Ben with a massive shield, though, might have baited in the enemy here, as Spirit is doing an insane amount of damage. Aiming has to flash away. And Mystic actually sails wide on that one. The red buff will eventually get this one. Spirit incredibly fast, of course, on the Lilia. Will just chase him down. He's level 7. He doesn't give a damn right now. He's just running him down 2 levels above Bono. And is now 2-0-2 at 8 minutes on Lilia.
This jungle difference is coming in huge towards the KT side. They had the lead on the bot side, but it doesn't matter. Enemy jungle is way too bad.
Keena's mid lane again.
Oh man, it's happening.
But Fly is not playing a tank, and he didn't start up in the top lane, and multitude of other things. So Keen just pushes the lane and then backs as Fly is heading top. I wonder if they're going to continue with this.
I mean, it's actually fine for Syndra, by the way. Like, Mordekaiser cannot do anything against Syndra. I mean...
Absolutely.
Oh, and the missing the ward as well. But anyways, Spirit with the smart move towards the bottom side that helped a lot when it comes to bot lane skirmishes. I mean, there is no way you can lose the fight when your jungler is level 6 and enemy jungler is level 5. That's what happened exactly on the bot side.
Man, this is one scary Bambi. Maybe a different movie from the one that I watched, but either way, it was just a great look overall. I think that Bono is also, again, playing a little bit too, you know, he's like flying off the cuff. He's just like essentially doing whatever he wants and invading when he's down a level, and you know, he's got some prio from the bottom lane, but that's about it. As here we go once again. This is a 4-on-2. Make that a 4-on-3. We've got Hecarim coming in through the jungle, but I'm not sure he's going to be here on time, as Lulu is going to go down, so Will aiming. Yucal regretting his decision, not sure about that shockwave. Bono is running away, and now he will run in. Will pick up the kill onto the Syndra, but not going to get much more. So Bono going to be the only member of KT that gets anything. Everybody else gets a ticket to the death chain.
Oh yeah, just snowballing from Africa Freaks. It's just way too clean. Everything is working out. The TP play from Fly was so clean, and the backup from Keen from the top side is also working out very well. The rotation is so clean. Like, I mean, Africa Freaks is actually developing themselves during the game, actually. And this is the momentum that I was talking about. Even though the BO5 is gonna happen like 3 days in a row, right? But the momentum is the thing for Africa Freaks, and the game 3 is looking like so much better than their game 1.
Yeah, absolutely. You called it, Wadid. You're on fire today. Not sure what you ate for breakfast, but you're getting everything right. And so is Afrika in this game. Just, you know, trying to respond. The teleport from Orianna is always going to be a little bit iffy, especially with that positioning in the middle of the lane. And it was just too little too late. I mean, the two of them were already dead, basically, with the 3-on-2.
Yeah.
And Spirit's so strong. He's got tier 2 boots plus the completed Runic Echo. So, I mean, not really much you can do. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
just trying to plug up a boat that's got a million holes in it at this point. So
I mean, the thing is, KT's bot lane is still kind of ahead, right? Because of the lane matchup. But I don't think it's gonna help that much at this point, because Ezreal is fine to just be behind and getting the first turret as well because of the header. So the extra gold is going to give him to Africa Frick side. And yeah, I mean, at this point, we can maybe imagine like when KT reaches to the late game, maybe they can synergize with their team comp. But yeah, I mean, the item difference and the map control difference is just right now is just way too huge. So yeah, if they want to come back, they need to build around aiming. That is 100% sure, because he's ahead right now, ahead in gold. So they just need to use this advantage at the right timing. Otherwise, they're gonna just lose everything right now.
well, they certainly have a nice amount of support for him. The Mordekaiser can kind of sacrifice himself, take one of those scary enemy champions off the board,
Yeah.
and he's got massive shielding. And a big horsey in the front to try to take away some of the pressure.
Yeah.
But again, it's going to require a pretty perfect team fight. This time, KT weren't even able to take any of the early Drakes, like games 1 and 2. So Afrika even more one-sided in this game. It's still early, 13 minutes, so we haven't even had the second Drake just yet. But you have to imagine with the lead that Afrika will be able to lock that one down.
I mean, KT's mid lane and AD, the bot laner is ahead in CS. So if they can lead to the next team fight, then yeah, it's gonna be okay for KT side. But yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, this Mordekaiser cannot do much in this game. Maybe he can bring sets and just 1v1 enemy support, but nothing much right now.
Yeah, he's just going to be sitting down here on the bottom side and try not to die against Keen, who has got a Ravenous Hydra. He's having a fun time so far. Will be, looks like, going for Trinity Force next, but either way, certainly having a bit of fun. It looks like Spirit is going to go for the tanky build once again, so no Leandri's second here. Goes for the Ninja Tabi on top of that. And KT were actually able to get a nice amount of plates in this game, it turns out.
Yeah.
Some of the switching around up in the top side gave Smev a couple of plates, and then, of course, the priority and the pressure that KT did have in the bottom lane did net them 5 plates.
Yeah, I mean, that's mainly because of their bot lane, but yeah. I mean, right now, Fly is matching Orianna on the top side, and Camille is matching Mordekaiser on the bot side, but I feel like if Africa Freaks wants to snowball this game more, then they should change the matchup on the side lane. I think putting Syndra on Mordekaiser's side is way better for her, and also putting Camille on the Orianna side is putting more pressure against the enemy Orianna. So I think that is way better. But yeah, I mean, because of the matchup, Syndra cannot step up right now. If Hecarim comes, then you cannot do anything against Orianna. So KT is finding some space against Africa Freaks, and if they can delay some time,
Well, this might be a sad horsey. He is incredibly fast, but the Lilting Lullaby doesn't care about how fast you are. And, I mean, he's chunking people right now. He doesn't even have that much damage. I mean, he's still able to destroy this Hecarim as he's level 10 in this game. So, nice little setup there. I like what you were saying, Wadid. I think it's definitely true. It seems like Afrika, instead of swapping, they're just like sending all of their support up towards the Syndra. And they had some nice map and vision plays to catch Bono out of position yet again in this one.
Oh yeah, I mean, if they can keep up this lane matchup, like side lane matchup, I think it's so much better for them. Like they can snowball so much faster than before. I think I would just definitely prefer to play against Mordekaiser as a Syndra on the side lane, because if you're just caring about the hacker, then nothing is gonna happen. But if you are playing against Orianna, then you cannot even try to 1v1 on the side because there is no vision control, right? So I think finally Afrika is finding some way to snowball the game. But anyways, yeah, KT got the Drake, but it doesn't matter. Drake doesn't matter that much right now nowadays.
It's level 10 Spirit to level 8 Bono. Pretty straightforward that time around. Bono is just, he's literally walking down the river when there's no vision and he's behind. So he says, well, I'm Hecarim, I'm really fast, I should easily be able to get away, but that was not the case when he runs straight into a set who was waiting for him. So good setup once again by the side of Afrika. And yeah, they don't go for that Ocean Drake, but they get a lot of gold. They go back and buy some stuff. You can see that Mystic is working on that Ramana. Spirit Visage completed for the Lilia, so nobody's killing that guy.
No.
Level 11 at this point.
It is not happening. And I mean, they have no priors in the lane. Orianna cannot push because there is no vision control. And at this point, like, you cannot even look for 1v1 trades on the side lane. So yeah, even though the lane matchup that I mentioned is not happening, Afrika is still having a great side lane prior, so it's gonna help mid lane prior as well. So if you have mid lane prior, the vision control is on point. And yeah. Like,
yeah, we watch aiming shoot out an arrow there against Mystic, and you know, I mean, Mystic, he's got Arcane Shift and he has Flash, so he's not dying there. He doesn't have Cleanse, so maybe he's like, well, maybe I can get a bit of damage on him, force him out of the lane. But
I mean, yeah,
definitely a little bit opportunistic at that point.
KT tried it because Orianna couldn't go for the side lane. So I mean, they will keep trying to force on the mid lane, but yeah, as you mentioned, that is Ezreal with Arcane Shift. So unless Mystic is looking for some optimistic plays on the mid lane, I don't think he's gonna die on the mid lane.
Yeah, it's again not gonna happen. Not this time around. And yeah, taking a look at some of the items here. Again, it is Tank Lilia, if you weren't paying attention before. And in game 1, this is Spirit liking to go for straight Tank Lilia. Leandri's first here for Smeb, as it's not too uncommon. And it looks like the GLP was picked up by UCal, so once again, just kind of looking for picks and seeing what he can do. Also has some defensive capabilities. But yeah, just mainly feeding that farm over to the side of aiming. As this is okay. Thought maybe they could make a play onto that one, but it looks like they just want to make the safe play and take down the turret with Shirley, who is going to be dropped down right now.
Oh yeah. KT is definitely trying to defend the plays from Afrika, but not working out. They still lost the turret. So yeah, I mean, Afrika is slowly getting everything on the map. The timing KT want to have right now is the mid lane 5v5. Otherwise, they're going to lose the game.
Yeah, that is true. Spirit, easy phase rush there. He doesn't really care about anything like that. Also has Nimbus Cloak, so Smite, and says, see you later. Super duper fast. And that's what we were talking about. Like, this Deer is not going to die unless she puts herself in a position to get a massive engage off. Because she's pretty tanky with the items she's got right now. She has insane speed. And yeah, just looking good from there. Not much else happening after the Hecarim got caught earlier on.
I mean,
it's really just macro plays.
I was expecting Keen to move towards the bottom lane after he just pushed in completely on the top side. But he was farming his top side jungle. So, I mean, I guess Africa Freaks is taking this time as a farming time officially. But yeah, I mean, I don't think this is great from Africa Freaks at the same time because if you wanna compete against the worst teams, then you need to like snowball at the right timing when you have advantage. But yeah, I mean, for some reason Africa Freaks is taking it really slow, and I don't really like this.
It certainly does feel like they're ahead enough to the point where they can be taking more risks, I suppose. It doesn't feel like a risk when you're this far ahead, right? But as you mentioned, they're kind of just taking the super safe approach, and they're also not being proactive on their, the times when they have the biggest lead. So I think that's mostly what you were touching on. They're also a little bit slow to take the Drakes. You know, they have total map control and they could just go for it, but it takes them a while to kind of get in position and secure it and lock it down. Looks like Lilia is going to go for that one right now. So not going to waste too much time as they will take down this Cloud Drake.
Yeah, I mean, there is, yeah, I mentioned already like 2 options that Africa Freaks could do, like putting a better side lane matchup to put more pressure on the enemy team, or yeah, as you mentioned, just keep it up, the better objective tempos, right? But both things are not happening, and also the shift play from the winning lane was not happening. Like, I was expecting Kane to move towards the bottom side because like he could actually push the side lane by himself without getting any helps on him, like under the second tier turret on the top side, right? And that means that you have like 3 waves of timing to just go roam on the bot side or mid lane, but like all those things are not happening. So that's why the game feels like really slow.
Okay, trying to force something here in the mid lane is aiming. See, he's getting pretty antsy about it. He's like, I mean, they're right there. Come on, let's engage. But Bano is just so far behind that one of the pieces of their puzzle, of their composition, is just, it doesn't fit. I think it was left out in the rain and became soggy. It doesn't quite, fit with the rest of the pieces. And yeah, I mean, Aiming can try as hard as he wants, but if he doesn't have his teammates to follow up, there's not really much that's going to go on. And Afrika, that was pretty much like 2-on-5, and then 2 other members came over. Meanwhile, you had Camille split pushing. And so they're really just taking their time with this one. This is like Afrika's moment to rest, They're just like sitting back.
I don't really like this. Maybe like I just watched Damwon versus DRX game, like the way how Damwon Gaming takes the snowball. But I mean, if Damwon Gaming was play this game from the blue side, I think they could actually just hit the Nesher just 20 seconds ago when Camille got the side lane pressure and moved towards the mid lane. But they went back to the side lane and decided to get another extra waves from the side. And yeah, I mean, even though Africa Freaks is winning this series and winning this game, the way how they approach to like snowball this game is not like looking great. I mean, it's not wrong or something, but it's not looking great when like you think about the game. Like, this is Worlds qualifiers. It's not like a regular split game, right?
Yeah, it's certainly a little bit too slow. And again, with Afrika in such a dominant lead in the series and Game 3, we begin to look onward and upward, right? We begin to wonder how they're going to do against T1, and they were able to win the last time, but as I mentioned earlier on, I think that T1 are going to have a much more prepared and stronger performance, I would imagine, in the, it's do or die, right? It's either you make it into Worlds off of a good performance or you don't. So they have to take Afrika seriously, and it's not going to be an easy opponent, so Afrika need to really clamp down on some of their slowness, we could say. I mean, they're in the way that they are playing.
They're giving so much time, and the snowball is stopped, and you can see it from the gold difference. At 20 minutes, they were ahead in 5k gold, but in 25 minutes, it's 4.4k. So the snowball is stopped, and this is so slow. I mean, they're giving so much time towards enemy team, which is not a great news when you are the team who was snowballing this game.
Yeah, that is for sure. And
I mean, there was
Yeah.
so many ways to snowball this game, right? Like we suggested so many ways, and like nothing was happening. Like they were just keep farming and farming when they were so ahead and they were stronger in this game.
yeah, and it's not even like they're stacking Mountain Drakes that work really well with their composition like game one. It's more like, well, we're getting clouds. We're farming, we're scaling, but so is the enemy team. So it doesn't quite feel the same as we can tell. Even with this tanky build from Spirit, he's pretty far ahead, so still does some decent damage to the side of Aiming and Tucson. Tucson basically, he wasn't having the most flashy performances in game number 1 and game number 2, but this time around he basically just follows Aiming around the map and puts shields on him. So we'll see how that works out for them. We see that KT is trying to rotate over to this side, but Keen up 2 levels on Smeb. As okay, we got the engage coming out here, the shockwave, and they use the flash now as Aiming as the lilting lullaby onto multiple members, but it is cleansed. But will it matter? Keen flashes in, but doesn't find much actually. As they're looking for Yukal down the lane, and they will be able to find him at least. Keen is a monster. Look at him. He's just running at them, misses his hook shot, doesn't even care about it. He's got Mordekaiser now in the front, just baits him in. And I guess Ben will be smacked down, but it should be a trade of kills as Keen, not the cleanest team fight of Camille I've ever seen him play, but either way, Afrika finally open the doors and make something happen, and we'll get a kill and move on to the Cloud Room.
Well, was it Afrika who tried to open the door? I don't think so. I mean, this is really disappointing snowballing from Afrika Freaks, and like KT had a great chance again. So I mean, I don't know what is happening for Afrika Freaks. So I don't know why they're not deciding to just pull the trigger, and they gave up so much wave on the top side this time around.
Yeah.
So they're kind of forced. But they were ahead.
Yeah, they're forced to fight.
Yeah.
They're forced.
Yeah, I mean, they're
Not
forced.
even by their own belief.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is so, like, disappointing performance for Afrika, but, yeah, at the same time, like, it was not playing his team fight as well, right? So...
We should move to live right now. We've got KT doing the Baron again. But this time there's 4 members of Afrika in position, and triple lilting lullaby. That is just disgusting, as 2 of them are going to be dominated. And Mordekaiser has to go home with his tail between his legs. Spirit is chasing down 2 members. We all know who the better pony is in this game, as, man, he is just so dominant. And finally, again, it feels like Afrika are kind of forced to do something because KT are like, please, we desperately want to fight. We really want to, so we're just going to do the Baron and see what happens.
I mean, the KT play was the play that Afrika needed to play. And I mean, something is wrong in this game, right? Like, am I wrong, actually? I'm not sure,
No,
actually.
I don't think so.
This game is something wrong. But anyways, at the end, Afrika Freaks got something. At the end, yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of lost in this game, by the way.
They, thanks to KT, Afrika are able to get something done. Take a look at this. This is just unreal.
Yeah, I mean, this is such a great engage. Yes, yeah, I agree. And yeah, Spirit, Lilia, his mastery on this champion is
걸어줄게
really
내가.
great. I
얘들아
have to
조심하고 내가 먼저 볼게.
say. And
얘네 다 러시한다.
they're rushing that
우리 하나 누구 우리 하나 우리 하나.
Look Oriana.
헤카리 궁을
Look upper
빠졌다.
side. Hecker no ultimate.
이게 나야. 바로 맞다.
This is me.
바텀도 민다.
이게 나야 이겨랑나.
This is me. This is my Lilia. Look at me.
이게 나야.
나이스. 이거 물자.
This is me.
Yeah.
Spirit's feeling it. He's got that spirit. And he certainly has had a pop-off performance in this game. No denying that. And I suppose specifically we should mention the early game, as well as that last team fight. So that is one of the things that worked well. Keen is pulled in, and the arrow misses. They're going to really try to force this one, as Smeb not going to hit much, but we got 5 members looking to just get on top of Keen.
Stopwatch.
As he's got a stopwatch, so that's not going to work out. In goes the Hecarim, only to die immediately in the backline. In this game, my good friends, is over. That is going to be the 3-0 as Aiming is going to be chased down, trying his best to the last moment, as Tucson is so unhappy, but he will be going down as well. Down goes the sad Lulu, and that is going to be the 3-0 from Afrika as they push in to the Nexus turrets. And we'll be taking those down, and they will go up against T1 in the next best of 5 tomorrow. At the same time, of course, KT not able to put up a good enough performance tonight. Afrika absolutely looked like the team that deserved to move on to the next round, and they will do so by taking down the Nexus right now.
Yeah, even though that was not the cleanest performance, at the end, the result is clean 3-0 by Afrika Freaks. So they're going for the next round, and I was talking about the momentum. And can they actually make a miracle run again? It's round 2, right? First they tried in the playoffs, and second this is Gauntlet.
It's you know, this is what happens, right? This is the Gauntlet. This is how you move on from one round to the next. But they have I mean, they're both telecom companies, but T1 is a much scarier opponent that do lie in wait for the next game. They also watch this entire series, and they're like, oh, Spirit loves his Lilia. We know exactly what build he likes to play. Oh, Keen and Fly, they can swap. They gain so much information by just watching a straight-up best of 5 from Afrika going into tomorrow. So now they're going to get to work. They're going to go to the drawing board and say, here's how we're going to handle Spirit. Here's how we're going to handle Fly and Keen potential swapping, and the Lucian Cryo over to the side of Keen. And so T1 will have that advantage, and so would be even more impressive if Afrika could put on a good performance tomorrow.
Oh yeah, definitely. But again, like their game 3 snowballing rotation was not clean at all. And so they just need to synchronize what they were looking for, and need to like analyze like what they were looking for in the game 3 especially, and then maybe they can have like so much better performance against T1, because there is some rumors about like T1's roster as well, like maybe Faker, Elim, and Guma Yushi is coming in out. So we'll see what's happening.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see if they actually do go for something like that. And I mean, we all saw this happen. If you guys missed this game, it was pure domination from Afrika. Obviously, there were some stuff that we thought Afrika were lacking in this series, which we talked about at length because we had so much time to talk about it in this game, unfortunately, for Afrika.
Yeah, I mean, this game was so one-sided, by the way. Like, this game was so one-sided, and the game should like end at like 20 minutes, and Afrika Freaks did so well to snowball the only game. But yeah, their lack of mid game kind of like had the sloppy moments. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. Win is win, so they can have some feedback timing and just prepare for the better games for tomorrow. And I think if there was POG, Spirit deserves it so much this week.
For sure. The guy put on a big diffie in the jiffy, as we like to call it. He just made Bono look a little bit silly in this game and in the series. I really do feel like a lot of this series did come down to Spirit having some good performances in there. So, but again, he played a lot of Lilia. Also got the Volibear in game number 2. There was so much focus on the AD carries that a lot of the really strong stuff got through. And I feel like it definitely felt like it benefited Afrika pretty well here, as Spirit once again showing off his Lilia and saying, this is me, this is my Lilia. We'll see if he even gets one game to play it in their series against T1.
I mean, I can expect Lilia and Lucian ban and Nautilus ban from T1. That can be really simple bans if you watch today's game. But at the same time, yeah, it can be different, like when it comes to T1's mind. Maybe they can think that we have better counters on those champions. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be 3 days in a row, this gauntlet. So let's see if Africa Freaks can make a miracle run again.
Yeah, and it is the miracle run. I know that a lot of people are, for a good reason, expecting T1 to win tomorrow, and then have T1 go up against Genji to decide the third team for Worlds for Korea. And, you know, again, for a good reason, it makes sense. But we'll see. I mean, the magic of the gauntlet is that it really comes down to one best of 5. If you're the better team on that best of 5 day, then you make it through. So it's going to be 2 difficult challenges in T1, and if they get through them, Genji, who definitely do feel like the final bosses in this best of 3, or not this best of 3, these 3 days of gauntlet. So the Gauntlet Kings, Genji, waiting for whoever dares to challenge them on the last day, which will be Wednesday. So guys, we do have the interview. I'm going to hand it over to Ji-sun. Let's hear from the boys from Africa.
Thank you very much, guys. Let's hear from Spirit Team facing up a little bit of a lower angle for this video chat interview. How do you feel, guys, heading to the next round of the regional qualifiers? I followed my teammates' order, and we were able to get an easy win. So I want to share this credit over to my teammates. Keen, you are one of those teammates, so how are you feeling? Everyone was really vocal today, so I followed their shot calls and everything was really smooth sailing. Then who was the main shot caller today? Maybe our coach. He told us some orders and I followed his advice and we were able to have a very smooth game. Spirit is becoming more and more humble, sharing the credit with the players and the coaching staff. I want to ask you about Lilia. Why are you so good at this champion? I mean, this is the basic level of a Lilia player, but I just followed my coaching steps, jungle pathing, and I was able to find a huge success. Maybe today's concept is about shouting out to the coaching step, but I want to ask you about Shen Jungle as well. And Spirit, you also played Shen Jungle a long time ago. Yeah, but my Shen Jungle is something about like Cloud Templars Shen Jungle, like the old Shen Jungler. However, I watched some players playing it in the finals of the LCS, so yeah, I'm keeping my eyes on it. And you guys will find it out tomorrow. Interestingly, one game, you guys lane swapped between top and mid. Keen. I played mid lane from time to time in competitive games, so I was quite confident, and Fly also answered that he's confident playing up on the top lane, so we went for the lane swap. Was it all planned, or was that something that happened during the pick and bans? Well, I mean, for competitive games, it depends. Because sometimes we go as we planned, but sometimes, some things are really impromptu. Those kind of choices actually requires a very nice sense of the game. And today as well, Africa Freaks players played at the Africa Freaks Coliseum. Did that help today as well? For me, everything is actually the same in any kind of stadium, but Mystic, he's different for sure. I hope he keeps up the hard work. I wonder what happens from home when Mystic is playing with the players at the facility. But moving on to tomorrow, you'll be facing up against T1. And the wild card series was super wild, so what's your mindset for that series tomorrow? We've already taken down last time, so we are confident, so we will do our best tomorrow. Spirit, any message over to your coaches? Thank you to your carry, we were able to pick up the dub. We were not able to find the Scream team, so we had a lot of hard times, but our coaches actually contacted to Bang and Hooney, so we were able to scream them and we were able to practice in a really nice environment. So that was also really helpful, and those two players were super strong. So I kind of learned why they are the world class players.
고개를 좀 끄덕이는 그런 장면들이 있었습니다. 일단은 어떻게 보면 지금부터 시작입니다. 험난한 그 여정이 남아 있는데
This is only the beginning of your gauntlet round, so wish you the best of luck for the incoming series as well. And this will be the end of the interview with Spirit Key from Africa Freaks. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Ji-sun, as always, for the wonderful translation. Good to hear from both Spirit and Keen. Interesting that they were going up and scrimming up against Hooney and Bang. But good stuff overall. They seem pretty happy and confident. A lot of credit given over to the coaches by Spirit, as they were mentioning, very humble nowadays. So cool to see. And once again, we will get this matchup of T1 up against Africa. This time it will be a best of 5, and that will be tomorrow.
Oh yeah, and it's rematch, and it can be revenge matchup for T1 right now. And it's not BO3 anymore, it's BO5, so there can be so many chances for both teams, and I'm actually like waiting for the roster tomorrow. It can be Faker, it can be Closer, it can be Gumayushi, it can be Teddy, and also Elim or Kaz. Like there is so many chances of like players, so we'll see what's gonna happen tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I like that they're switching things up. I think that they're showing in the best of 3 against Africa. They have to look at themselves and say, well, what are we going to do about it? We got to change something, so we'll see what they do change for tomorrow. It will be Atlas and LS bringing you that cast tomorrow, guys, so make sure to tune in. I'll be hanging out with all you wonderful people in the chat, of course, as always. But thank you, Wadid, for coming and casting with me today. We will see you tomorrow for more of the LCK Regional Qualifier.
Changed and I am ready to take it on. Told me to be myself and never feel alone. You're all that I want, all that I need. If I was ever in the